Let the chaos reign.
Chaos Reign presents Who is the Prize? Men or Woman? Broadcast September the 13th, 2019. Enjoy.
The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
In a world where there's crime, corruption, violence, rape, murder, death, and all forms of atrocity that plagues the world we live in today, what you're witnessing, we live in a state of chaos, and it's taken much extreme or greater chaos to restore the order in which the world we live in today. Good evening, black people. This is Chaos here. Okay, here. And tonight, I have my good friend, Mr. Charles Faulkner here. And we're going to go in on a very touchy subject that has not been talked about. And really, truly, this is something that I thought about. And, you know, it's something that we don't talk about enough. But screw it. There's always this issue of divide between the sexes, men and women, and, you know. But really, truly, when we talk about who really, when it comes down to is more value in this, what we call the prize, this is the question that should be asked. So tonight, we're going to talk something about that. But before we give more onto tonight's subject, I'd like everybody to go to TalkRealSolutions.com. Under TalkRealSolutions.com, you'll see a 3-point plan for black empowerment, black achievement. And under the 3-point plan, you'll see a list of black established-owned banks. I think there's still roughly around 30 banks located here in the United States that's black-owned. Mostly they reside near this down south, somewhere maybe upper Midwest, etc. But they are here. And they're not going nowhere right now, God willing. But only time will tell. And also, on talkrealsolutions.com, you'll see what we call the list of, or actually not list, but latest articles, news, and blogs, and all types of things that go around here in America and outside abroad. As you know, we have the Talk Real Solutions T.R.S. News every Thursday night. So if you missed that broadcast, and go back to that and, catch up what was said on there. Or you can go directly to the website where we have all the latest articles that's read on T.R.S. News on Thursdays onto the website. And also we have a donation piece where you could contribute to the channel. You can contribute as little as, $3, $5, or whatever you feel the channel is worth. You can contribute there. And also you can find Talk Real Solutions on YouTube as well. You can type Talk Real Solutions on YouTube, where you can find all episodes, including this episode by Chaos Rain, episodes from ABC, and T.R.S. News. All that is on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to T.R.S. on YouTube, don't be afraid. Hit that bell button, subscribe to there, and you could watch all previous recordings, including this one and all the other previous episodes. So as I get freshed up, trying to get everything set up properly, we are going to begin and give people time to wait. Hold on a second. Let me do this. All right. Okay. So now, no further ado. Tonight's subject is titled Chaos Reign presents Who Really is the Prize, Men or Women? So, with no further ado, let me go to my board. Let me see, Mr. Charles Faulkner Jr. is on the line. I don't know if he called in yet. Let's see. I think that's him. All right, Charles, here, hit *6, Mr. Charles Faulkner, so I can see you on the board. All right. So, no further ado, I present to you back on TRS Talk Real Solutions my good friend Charles Faulkner Jr., or what we like to call Panfro.
Woo,
Charles,
what's
you there?
up? What's up? Woo!
Yes. We got that Ric Flair. Woo! You feel me? All right. Officer Charles Faulkner, how are you doing tonight? Welcome back again on Talk Real Solutions. And like always, you bring a sense of insight that to the conversation that we don't really ask the right questions when we look at society and us as a people collected today. And like always, the interesting question out of all of this, and we have conversations sometimes on this and other broad subjects, but when we talk about, not only relationships, but in generally in our situation, and basically let's say relationships, let's say conversation, we always hear the term women are the prize to everything, and men are secondary, But then again, we see today in today's society and how society is structured now, I'm not sure if that holds weight today. So for me to take a sit back, your views on this subject, what do you see even forward of this topic in regards to this men-women prize?
I always looked at this topic kind of with a unique description. If women are the prize, how can they be so if all they got to do is show up? What benefit do you get out of it? Do you have women who respect you? Do you have women who are loyal to you? Especially when you have to be the man and you have to have so many attributes to get this prize. Let's not be disingenuous. Everything must be reciprocated. Everything must have a benefit. for so long, so many men have been told you have to have a job, you have to have a house, you have to have a car, you have to have money, you have to have all these things. But when you see the flip side of it, the only thing a lot of these women bring are just themselves. Are you getting the same product from the men as you're getting from the women? I've heard all this week about, for instance, black men want everything and not building. Give us a reason to build. It goes back into one of the greatest motivators for men to build and do greatness was to protect women. But is that the case now? Chaos. Is it worth it? Are men getting the motivation they need to build?
Mm-hmm.
As I said before, a woman can make a man two things. She can make him feel like Superman, or she could be his kryptonite.
Mm-hmm.
For you to be the man, you have to explain something to yourself. Your masculinity is not dependent on your women.
Mm-hmm.
Your masculinity is dependent on, can you conquer the environment? Mm-hmm. For men, women are secondary. Mm-hmm. Your goals and your mission in life are the primary. Women are going to be a byproduct of that. And I think too many people don't understand the prize, the goal, the championship within themselves first. If you're saying women are the prize, then you're going to put the women, are they going to give you the respect, the loyalty, and the love? Unquestionably. That's the biggest question.
Yes.
Are we going to get somebody who's going to always have your back? Or are you going to have somebody who just loves you very conditionally?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're the prize, why is there less requirement for them? What's your take on it, Chaos?
Well, my take is this. To be honest with you, even with this question alone, as I look at society today, and we know how women complain, and either a good way or a bad way, they complain how they can't get a good mate or a good man. You hear this constantly. Some even go as far as they might drain most of their precious years until they get to that, age where, what they call the wall stage, And now they scramble to look for any man if they have not flocked their womb yet. So, to me, when we talk about the prize, I sit back and say, they are valued and priced like any other species, but when there's so much abundance of them, that means, and there's so much little of the man, and this maybe we could say in history, but when we look at our situation as people today, us specifically, like men and women, that there's not a lot of black men around for every certain amount of black women or women out there.
What is it about?
So really, truly, when we look at the prize, it seems to me it's really the inverse in today's society.
Yeah,
that's my take.
You gotta think about it. They say for every suitable black woman, for every suitable black man, there's 6 suitable women.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at the factors. Take all the black women did this to me, black women did that bullshit out the way. We're not going off about feelings. We're not going off about anybody's prom time. We're just going about raw statistics. So we gotta show 2 things. We gotta show that the men coming up now, the young men and the boys, to be the prize within themselves, because guess what? Nobody's encouraging them, except for a few initiatives like the Great Faulkner. Whereas though there's plenty of black women that, like you said, they foil away their good years, or as I just plainly said, don't waste your good years with fuck boys, fun boys. And then you get a bad case for a lot of women, not all, but too damn many, who overestimate their dating sexual market value later in life. Like, once upon a time, a woman would know that her late teens and her 20s was when she can get the best possible mate. Whereas for men, it was in the reverse. Their mid to late 30s to their early 40s, where they're the most violent. But in today's society, we're teaching women to think that they're men, and men to think like women. There's too many men bitch moaning and complaining and not doing. Now, those are the men who I have great issue with. And we're teaching the women to be go-getters and this, that, and the fourth, and heads of the household, but they're unhappy because they're unfulfilled. They're looking they say they want a cooperative man, but they want that guy who could conquer the world. You can't get both in that same cooperative man. They want someone to be a leader, but they don't want to give up the reins of power. There has to be a give and take.
Exactly.
And especially when they get into the 40s, their late 30s and their 40s for women, where they're going to be competing against the 18, 19, 20, 25-year-old women. And that's a hard pill to swallow. When you got to look at the man's going to come. He doesn't just bring what he brings to the table. He brings the whole damn house, especially when he's single. I just think it's too many ladies in their late 30s, early 40s who have babies, and too many of them don't even know what a suitable man is, so they'll settle. Instead of taking time when they're at their peak value and working on their non-sexual energy to get the man right for them.
I agree. The call number for tonight's show is 712-770-4160. Access code 915-411#. I'm just typing that on the other end. I repeat, the call number for tonight's show is 712-770-4160. Access code 915-411#. Tonight's subject is titled Chaos Reign Presents Who Really is the Prize, Man or Woman? With my good friend, Officer Charles Faulkner Jr. Now, Charles, it's funny that you mentioned about their good years and how they flunked it. Their 20s going on their 30s or whatever, if they don't have children, or they might have one or two, God willing. That I remember there was a thing by Miss Michelle from her movement. Said that once you're in your approaching mid-20s, and the question asked, if you got proposed by more than one dude, right, around those age, right, and you don't choose to get married, right, or you don't take the offer, she always throws the question back, what are you waiting for if you can get a man that is willing to marry you? And I always think to myself, what are you waiting for? Because the longer you wait, the chances are you bagging something decent for your as a woman to be somewhat secure. If anything you're trying to do, the timetable is slowly slipping out of your hands, even to the point where the longer you do wait, and then you feel like you want a companion, or you're trying to even look to settle down, that window could slowly close. And it might potentially close for good, depending what you do or how you carry yourself moving forward as you get older as a woman. You know?
Yeah, it's going to be harder because of this modern woman who is a career-oriented woman. It's nice that she has her degree, her career, but something in life is going to suffer, and that's usually going to be the relationships, especially on the part of black women, because black women have more degrees than black men.
Mm-hmm.
They want a man to be on their status. You can, it's funny, you can literally make more than them, but if you don't have the degree, they don't value it. But what happens is, look at it, physically, in your late teens to early 20s, we're not talking 50, we're talking 18, 19. Late for the tractors, of course. You're at your most beautiful, you're at your most fertile, where you produce the healthiest children. You don't have to go through the onslaught of broken relationships, multiple sexual partners, so your value is pretty damn high.
Mm-hmm.
And usually by that time, a lot of women don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the man's not coming into a ready-made family. Men live a legacy, and they like to start their own. So when a lady in her late 30s, early 40s tries to settle down like a guy would, it works opposite of what a man. She's not going to be the pristine woman. Do you have exceptions to the rule? Yes, but you never make a rule to the exception. That's very rare. And remember, she has a finite set of time with those eggs, and men can produce to the day they die.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of men of wealth and privilege want younger women to start a legacy for children.
Yep.
So if you're not able to produce healthy children, or you're going to be considered high risk, now it's even harder. It's like a point system. You know how women put us on point systems: no job, boop, car, boop, his own house, boop, broke, zip. Same thing goes for them. Up, attitude, zip, overweight, zip, multiple children, zip. It works for everybody. So when you mess around those good years, and even if you do your career, nobody says you can't have a career, but you must, if you really want a family and you want to settle down, you got to make time.
Yeah, you got to make that sacrifice if you're willing to do that.
You have to, because when you get to a certain age, you're going to be considered high risk. That's if you're able to even give birth to children. So now, where a guy is going to see, and for a lot of ladies, let's tell the truth, sometimes, a lot of times at that age, their beauty starts to fade.
Mm-hmm.
They look great, but they don't look 21 either. And now you're talking about the men of wealth, the men of privilege, the men of pristine status are looking at you at 40, but they're also looking at their competition at 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Yes.
Which frustrates a lot of women, and that's why you hear a lot of them say, what can that young girl do for you? So, once again, if the woman's going to be the prize, her window is going to be shorter than the men's. When she can get the absolute best. And once again, we'll go back to the beginning of what I said. We've turned biology and flipped it on its head with this indoctrination that says you don't need a man, but the heart wants what it wants. And by the time they break out of the programming, if they totally are capable, guess what? Life passes them by. Oh, no, I don't see a lot of older women going out there attracting the best of their men. A lot of older women do two things. They'll either get older men, if they're lucky, and they might be in that older guy's rotation.
Okay.
Or it's a 12-to-5 relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
I'm looking at the chat. Chaos. I know you saw mom's picture for her birthday. She's 61 and she's running circles. Is she able to have children at 61?
No, not likely.
Is she going to be able to compete on the terms of raw physical beauty with a 25-year-old woman? Let's even say your mom's a 7 or 8. Is she going to be judged? Is she going to be judged as a 7 or 8, as 25, or a 61? And we're talking about men, not how women view themselves. Mm-hmm. She may be great for 61, but even your mom would say it's not like when I was 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Monica, she a trip.
Yeah, of course she's going to have no kids at 60 and nothing. Yeah. Of course not. So you got to remember, when you're looking at things, yeah, you can look great. Gabrielle Union looked great for 46, 47, but she's not what she was when she was 25, 30, was she?
Oh, no. Hell no.
And then on top of that, because of her loose lifestyle, then they have to get a surrogate.
She didn't even give birth. I think she had somebody else give birth.
She had a surrogate.
Yeah,
she had a surrogate.
And the reason why, because she spoiled her womb.
Yeah, she was reckless with it.
Very reckless. You didn't hear read a book?
Yeah, she was. I mean, that was a carousel tale. That's actually perfect example right there.
Mhm.
She couldn't even carry her own child.
Yeah. It's just something that young women, before they reach a certain age, that they should really pay attention. You get me?
Mhm.
And the man that she chose, and he's questionable in himself, when I go there, that, she wasted her best years. And mind, she was an actor in her 20s, last my check. So you tell me she couldn't, I don't know if she was she ever married, now that I think about it? You know?
I'm not sure. She might have.
She might have. She never gave birth to kids, though.
I'm reading on dude's, I'm reading the person's comment. My mom has young boys after her. Y'all might want to take a trip to the boat. Is it they want to be in a relationship? But once again, I got to put this out there. Too many ladies out there accuse men hollering at them for things that are mainly sexual to being in a relationship with them. They don't equate.
Yeah.
They don't equate.
Yeah.
Well, I can get any man I want. Yeah, for 2 hours if you're lucky.
And speak up a little bit, Charles. Speak up a little bit. Just a little bit.
That's probably the speaker. I said for 2 hours.
I'm good.
A lot of times, people forget they equate sex with relationship. You got to think about it. There's guys out there that will sleep with anything. And I'm not saying mom was bad or don't look bad. I've never seen her. There might be some young people who be like, oh, she could get it. Everybody plays that, oh, she could get it, but you never hear somebody be like, oh, I'm going to wife it. And that's the point that you and I are making. When you're the prize, that shine should never luster. And if women are the prize, their shelf life is very, very short. I know a couple of women who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who look great. Go to the gym, they look great. You would never believe they're that old. But at the same time, they are the same women who said, shit, if you think I look good now, you should have seen me at 20 and 30. And here's another thing for a lot of women who get their degrees, not knocking them. Hey, sister, get your education. I will support. A lot of them don't understand. College is actually a good place to look for suitable mates. That's what a lot of other cultures do. They look for they're going to get their degree, and then they'll look for the best possible candidate that's going to carry them and their future kids through the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
But nope. Career-minded. I got to do it for me. Me.
Mm-hmm.
And then next thing you know, you get your master's or dual master's or your PhD, and you never worked on your non-sexual qualities, and you're utterly abrasive. That's the same thing as a guy who's an incel who can't talk to women face to face, but he always got an inbox them or go in the DM. The goddamn incel culture can't. I can DM, I can make these funny jokes, but when it comes to meeting women, he's scared. It's the same equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot harder when it's in real time. I just say the same thing for the guys. That's why, for men, one of the best things they could do is walk up to a girl and say, hi, how you doing? My name is whatever, and start a conversation. It gets rid of the anxiety. But once again, you got to see this modern guy, just like we talked about the modern woman, the guy doesn't see himself as the prize. He doesn't see himself valued in some of these cases.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll overcompensate with trying to get this woman with money instead of his charm and his good nature and his conversation, and you build up a simp culture. So what happens? He gets taken for his money, because that's what you start with is what you're going to end with. He gets taken for all his money, whether through child support or alimony, or she just and then he gets upset.
Mm-hmm.
These bitches ain't shit. Dude, you didn't vet the woman first. Just like on the other circle, when that woman is at her peak, you didn't want to get the best possible guy, and if you get a couple of kids off of the fun dude, and he doesn't want shit to do with them, what happens? Now you're going to have to settle. Or, so it all equates. If you really are the prize, what are you getting out of that? What is that reward? So is it just to say I got somebody pretty on my arm, or we're going to have growth through two people? I'm gonna give you a little thought. I think men and women are too goddamn competitive against each other.
That's what it boils down to today. They're in competition instead, look at themselves as compatible mates, complement each other.
Men and women are not equals; they're complementary. I think we've been taught that we got to compete instead of bringing the best out of each other. Oh, I'm the prize. No, I'm the prize. Dumbasses. Why don't you glorify each other? And then you have each of these people in a shouting contest. You wonder why your kids are screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never had them out of love and respect and dignity and caring. You had them out of lust. So the real prize shouldn't just be you, shouldn't just be her. The real beneficiaries of the prize should actually be your children.
Yeah. Exactly. Before you continue, Charles, for those that is listening on the other end, the call number again is 712-770-4160, access code 915-411#. I repeat, 712-770-4160, access code 915-411#. Tonight's subject, Chaos Rain presents Who Really Is the Prize, Men or Women? And we have one caller. You want me to open the line? We have two callers. You want me to open the line or you want to continue on?
Cool. I'm cool with it.
All right. I'm about to open the lines now. Hold on. All right, I'm opening the line now. First line open. Who's this?
Good evening. This is Gigi. Hey, Gary. Hello, guest.
Hello, Gigi.
How you doing?
All right, stay on line, Gigi. Let me open another line. See right there. I'll open another line. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, am my mic coming in? You hear me?
Yeah, it sounds okay, but what's your name, caller?
Jermaine.
All right, stay right there, Jermaine. I want Gigi to speak. All right, Gigi, what's up?
No problem with it. Just
Let's
tell
go,
me when I'm live. I'm gonna speak my speech.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's let the lady speak.
All right.
Well, I was just wondering, what do you tell your daughters, your nieces, your cousins about? What do you tell young ladies about marriage and family and parenthood? Both of you, Gary and the guest.
For me or Chaos?
Both.
What I would tell them is don't waste your good years with people that are just for a short time fun. Would I encourage them to get their education through college, trade, or whatever, to travel? Yes. Don't go around wasting your womb. Value yourself and value your possible mate that you see. Because one, unlike boys, when girls have sex, they can end up carrying babies. Be careful with your womb. Should she carry herself and value herself? Of course. But make sure you find somebody that sees the value in you and you see the value in them. Like I said a few minutes ago, the ultimate winners of the prize should be your children. Chaos?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this is my thing, Gigi. If you're a woman, depending if you're not in your 30s, and you are, let's say, in the stage where you want to, settle down or look for a mate, I would say the first person that comes around that is willing to get a ring on you, I would say go for it. Don't waste time.
You said the first person?
Especially if you've been dating this person. And this dude, depending on what age he is, he's ready to make that next step. I know some women told me that they get 2 proposals from 2 different dudes, And
wait, Gary,
yeah.
does that mean they're having sex with 2 different dudes, or does that mean they're not having sex with either one?
Well,
Well,
to be honest with you, I don't know because I never asked their personal business.
Because that makes a big difference.
Now if they're fucking them and you know,
I said having
not getting
sex.
anything out the fuck, then
Wait,
you know,
stop
that's
saying
on
that,
them.
Gary. I mean, if she's having sex with two men, and then two men propose, that's kind of, I don't know about that.
Well, you got to
having sex with two. Go ahead.
Well, you got to understand, it's not the Beaver the Cleaver generation anymore, is it?
I understand, but he's telling a story. So, but you're telling the story, but you don't know all of the particulars, I guess.
No, I mean,
details?
I think it's weird because, you know, if two men, I don't know if it's at the same time two men are proposing or if it was two different time periods.
I don't know either.
I'll just say for the sake of
Am I in the call?
Yeah,
your mic is on, sir. Hold on.
Shit, my mic. I've been muted this whole goddamn time. My bad,
I'm
y'all.
about to send stuff to answer Gigi's question, and we're going to let you talk. I'll just say real quick for the sake of...
My bad, bro.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I'll just say for the sake of...
motherfucking call. That's why I had myself muted. I thought I was in the waiting list or some type of shit, bro.
No. We're going to get to you. Maybe we can do being fair and impartial. I'm going to just say to...
No, hold up. I'm grabbing the ring. I ain't going to be more than...
Sir. All right. We got you, sir. Let Charles get...
Maybe he's at work or something. Is he at work or something? He's in a hurry?
No, don't worry. Hold on. Let Charles finish, and then we'll let you talk, sir. Go ahead, Charles.
I'm not trying to... I don't know the lady. I'm not trying to make her out to be a whore or whatever terminology people want to call people like that. Whatever. The lady, who knows? It might have been two different time periods. You know, it's a little bit different. I don't know the circumstances. Maybe she felt the guy wasn't ready, or maybe she felt she could do better. I don't know. If you're dating a person for 5 years and they propose and you say no, then that 5 years was a waste of time for both. I really think that she should, if you're dating this person and you've been with this person for X amount of years and you say no, that says, what do you really think about this person and what do you think about yourself? And for the next caller, go ahead.
You there, sir?
If he's not there, I'll respond.
No, let me check.
His name was Jermaine. Jermaine?
Yes, Jermaine. All right, you can speak now, Jermaine. If you can unmute yourself, sir. Jermaine? All right. Anything else, Gigi, while Jermaine gets his phone situated?
Yeah, I feel bad. I thought Jermaine wanted to. Anyway, maybe she loved the person and she dated him for 5 years, but when she looked at her life, she decided that's not the man that she wants to have children with. So, you know, maybe he's a boyfriend or whatever, but not father material. And maybe she didn't find that out till the 5th year. I don't know.
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. You don't mind, Gigi?
Mm-hmm.
If you're with a person that long, I would pretty much doubt that you would know, because you're with that person for a reason. That's longer than even a season. You get what I'm saying? That's not a 5-month relationship. We're saying I'm just throwing the number 5 years. That's a good average. 5 years. That's not a season. That's a reason. Either you're using a guy or he's using you. There's something strange about that. And then with a person that long, you say no.
I
There's
mean, can I get the top of the conversation real quick? Like,
oh, you're here. All right, go ahead.
I saw the stream, but like, I know what was up with it.
We were waiting for you, man.
What's up?
No, we're waiting for you. Go ahead, speak. We're waiting for you.
I mean, I'm going to speak to you on real shit. Is that cool? I mean, I only come with real shit. See, I read what? Y'all hear me? My mic coming in?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. So, I like to talk about politics and shit. What y'all think about Donald Trump? Because he got something to do with women and talking about men and women that kind of have a relationship and shit. So what y'all think?
I don't know what you're talking about, brother.
I think Donald Trump doesn't know how to have a real relationship with a woman. Okay, can we continue now?
No, I'm coming in good. You good, sis.
Okay.
But back to you, Gary. What do you tell the young ladies in your life, your daughters, your nieces, your sisters, your cousins? I mean, there are adults that are content in long relationships, and maybe neither one wants to get married or neither one wants children. I didn't understand that when I was younger.
But I kind of pivoted the conversation talking about politics. I was talking about Trump and all that.
Well, this is not the conversation about Trump. We're dealing with man and women relationships right now, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to go grab a drink. My bad, G. I'm
going to go back to drink.
Right, thank you.
I'm jealous.
All right.
Don't fall off the stool, Jermaine. Don't fall off the stool. Lock your legs, man. Lock your legs.
Okay. All right, guys.
Hey, peace, Chaos. Can I get in here real quick?
Hey, mama's boy.
Peace, sis.
Yeah, wait.
Locking my leg. Hold on. What you talking about?
Hold on. Let me do this. Guys.
I'll get my ass handed to me.
Mama's boy. I don't mind you jumping in. It better if you're on the line so I can see you on the number, brother, so I know people jumping in on the line because it's going to get a little hectic. And
They're trying to save this. They're trying to save this.
Formal today, just tonight. But anyway.
No, hey, I'm on the host line. You'll see me if you're looking at the board.
Okay. That's fine. But let me open two more lines, Mama, before you.
Sure.
Is this Kenneth? Who's this? I'll open your line.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Gary? What's up, Charles?
What's up, man?
Mama's boy, Gigi.
Peace.
Hey, what's up, Darren? Let me open that line.
Who that, OC?
No, it's Kenneth. Hold on, guys.
Oh, Kenneth. What's up, Pete? Ken?
Who's this? I'll open the line.
This is Mary.
Hey, what's up, Mary?
What's up, Mary?
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
I'm good. Before you speak, Mary, Mama's boy, what you want to say before come going down?
Can y'all find Monica? Can y'all find Monica? Get her to call in.
She a big girl. She can call in, and once she press *6, and I'll see on the board.
I wanted to answer Gigi real quick with her question, which was really interesting.
Okay.
I'm okay. Personally, I'm okay. If people want to live their lives a certain way, I'm okay with it. If a person wanted to be in a long-term relationship and not getting married, cool. As long as they put that out there in the front. Don't say, whether it's the man or the woman, I really think it's real disingenuous to the point of being fucked up that you told this person you don't want to get married, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years down the line, oh, this motherfucker didn't give me a ring, or she don't want to get married to me. And I think it's one of those conversations to have up front, like children. Do you want children? Do you want to get married? Do you want to live in this part of town together, or whatever? I think it's real weird how nobody's ever really truly open to what they want and what they expect from the other and themselves in that relationship in the beginning, and don't hold to it. But go ahead, Chaos.
All right. Yeah, man. Nothing's wrong with any relationship a person takes as long as they are upfront. Especially, let's say, when you're not upfront what you really want to get out of this relationship, then when it comes down when, like I said, the man wants to get the ring and then the woman either accept it or don't want to accept it, that's a big problem. But when you're not really upfront what you want out of this relationship, it's a problem. But it goes back to communication, which we lack as a community. But I'm going to let Mom's Boy talk. What's good, Mom's Boy? Welcome back.
Peace, God. Peace, family. I just was kind of like wanting to answer Gigi's question. I guess it's coming from a man with a daughter. My first thing would be I would explain to my daughter that it wouldn't matter what kind of relationship she had or was in. If she ain't happy with herself, she don't have a relationship with herself. If she ain't pleased with herself, then ain't no relationship she gonna be in gonna work. So I would start there, and then I would explain that. I would explain to her that marriage is a continuation of the love that you have between each other. So if you don't have that, if you don't feel that, it's a waste of time getting married. It's a business proposal at that point. If you're not talking about continuing the family, my mama's boy.
Could you say that first part again? Because I don't think people out there heard you. Because that is some very profound shit you just said.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's important for you to be happy with yourself first. If you don't have a relationship, I've had this conversation, by the way, okay, and I'm very candid, especially with my loved ones. So you guys think I cut straight to the chase on here. You ain't in my four walls, because I'm known for that. But I would basically explain to my child that if she ain't gonna be able to find herself in nobody but herself. So if she can't learn the nuances of tricking herself and getting herself to love herself, then it ain't gonna work with no man, no dog, no parakeet, no orangutan. It just ain't gonna happen. You have to be happy with yourself first. And then once you know yourself enough to where you are in that's a relationship. You know yourself, you know your tendencies, you block your tendencies so for your own good. That's an adult, somebody who stops themselves from doing dumb shit so they can survive the next day. And once you got that down, then you somebody to somebody. And then marriage is just you want to link up with that person to bring that life and that forward. I mean, it ain't nothing else once you go marriage except that and the generations you build after it. If you ain't doing it for anything other than that, it's a business relationship.
Okay.
So you just fooling yourself if you gonna say you're in love but you don't want no kids. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's how some
That's just my opinion, though. I mean, I don't claim to be right. I don't have all the answers. I do what works for my children. It may not work for somebody else's, but I just wanted to see if I can answer Gigi's question.
Well, mama's boy, can I make a response to that?
Sure. Hey, knock yourself out, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Who is this?
This is Officer Faulkner.
Say that one more time.
Officer Faulkner.
Officer. Some people are moving around. People are banging on shit. So.
Officer Faulkner, I was applauding you for that statement.
Oh, I appreciate you, man.
Because that's the part what I really want to get at is that a lot of people look at the prize like it's Thailand or there can only be one. No. Ultimately, when you're with another person, your kid should be the prize. Your kid should be the one that gets upheld. Like you said, if you don't find value in yourself, nobody will.
Well, I like in my old age, not to cut you off, but just to add, in my old age now, I have a different perspective on that. People are going to value you at what you value yourself.
Exactly.
They're not going to go no higher than what you value. They're not going to drag you down, not unless something's wrong with them. But if they genuinely care about you or love you for some reason, they love you at the level you at. But that's not always great. You know what I'm saying? That's not always a good thing. A person might only want you to be at that level. That's where they want you. That's not a good thing. So you have to have some sort of grade for yourself, or you're going to let people treat you anyway, any kind of way that they want to treat you. You know what I mean?
Pretty much what my father always said, people respect you how you respect yourself. And a lot of people look into this, and they don't go into the marriage actually knowing them. They don't even go into boyfriend, girlfriend knowing themselves. Hell, we could get best friends that don't even know ourselves. We could get fucking neighbors that don't even know ourselves. And a lot of times, especially in the black community, the one cardinal sin we do is judge ourselves according to other people that are living your lives. This whole, the woman's the prize, the man the prize. Look, everything's got to be reciprocated at one point or another. If you take, and never give, that's abuse.
See, I think the relationship is the prize. Because the relationship, although the couple, and man, this is just me, speaking about only what I know. The couple is sets an example. However their relationship is, when people see them out, the day they got married or whatever, they are an example of, a relationship, right? And other people can feed off of that. You know what I'm saying? They 20-year-old niece can see that her 27-year-old cousin can find a dude, so now she slow down, and maybe have a different perspective on life. It's the adult thing to do is to understand your touch all over. You know what I mean?
That was a good way to put it. She slowed down. The 27-year-old can slow down, and that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, you more than just for yourself. Although we are selfish people living in this godforsaken country, hey, we really don't live by ourselves. We are attached to other people.
Here's a question I want to ask right here.
Sure, go ahead.
And I want everybody to comment. Does marriage still hold weight in the modern time right now?
Well, before we answer, Amir, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I couldn't hear the question.
No, I'll repeat it again.
Hold on. Let me repeat the question because Gigi didn't hear it. Repeat the question one more time, Charles.
Can you hear me, Gigi? Some people can hear me. Hey, Gigi, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
He's asking the question, does marriage still hold the weight that it did back then, now in the modern time?
Can I answer that?
Yes, you could.
I think it's a mixed bag, but I think when you just step back and put it within the context of American society and just where we are with modernity and everything, I would have to say no. I was actually talking about this a couple of days ago, and the fact is that there's no longer a such thing as wedlock in American society because of how easy it is to get a divorce. Wedlock essentially doesn't exist. Now that's not to say that it doesn't have, some value to it, to the institution. It does provide certain, structural benefits and advantages, like especially for children and things like that. But just within the context of relationships, love, dating, and those different things, I don't think it doesn't carry the same weight. Like we've given up so much to have this, this modern society in terms of, our interpersonal workings and dynamics and things like that. And unfortunately, it's done a number on marriage and on relationships between men and women. That's just where we are in the 21st century.
Anybody else?
Kenneth, you there? I guess he's not there. I would say this. And today, in the 21st century, even leaving the 20th going to 21st century, I would say no. And no way it's going to hold any value as when they roll back some of these laws, like what they call no-fault divorce and all these things that's put in place to make it easier
for I guess women to just jump out of the marriage.
Well,
to be honest with you, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, especially when when that laws like that are set up, they're basically set up based on the fickle nature of women. Women are very fickle. They tend to be very fickle. I mean, Aisha Curry was a prime example of that. You know, always looking for, you know, what they don't have or what's not going their way. You know what I mean? So just like with that, you know, it's that thing. What have you done for me lately? You know, Eddie Murphy made a joke about that. You know what I'm saying? What have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? And so, like when the laws are set up on that wave, man, you know, it's gonna be tough, man. And then, you know, just with the way the society is when it comes to the sexual politics and everything like that, I mean, yeah, it's tough. It just doesn't carry the same weight. That's unfortunate.
I look at it like this, like you notice one thing you never hear from them. There's one term you'll hear from Gen Xers and baby boomers that you'll never hear from millennials.
Mhm.
I'm in it for the long haul.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
You'll never hear that shit again. I think my generation, I'm 37, so I'm a really, 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 really late Xer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my parents were married, and now you see the lack of marriage. It was a respect thing.
Yeah.
Even back in the 80s, and for anybody who existed as a child, even as a child, who were there in the 70s, would tell you, there was, even if a person stepped out of their marriage, they never did. I mean, there were times people, the wife or the husband might have found out, but there was a level of respect where they would try to hide the shit. Nowadays, you'll see motherfuckers actually openly dating married men, like, god damn, or married women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're playing with something that, whether you believe in a creator, a destroyer, a maintainer, that's your prerogative. There was something that was ordained by that person or that being that you said, we're going to be one. And nobody even has the decency to actually respect it. I mean, I think people nowadays look at
question.
more than, I think people look at the ceremony more than the actual marriage, or more than the actual relationship. We look at relationships like prom clothes instead of like a very good suit where you can use it time in and time out and put it in the cleaners and use it again. We look at it like prom clothes, like you only wear it once. It's like shit.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, GG.
Hold on. I open a new line.
Oh.
Wait, let me see what this is. Who's this? I open up.
It is I, sir.
All right. Go ahead, Gigi. Sit right
anyway.
No, go ahead, Gigi.
Greg he says he's a cop. Greg?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Are you a real cop or what? Security guard?
I'm a real police officer.
Okay, so when you are doing the Greg Faulkner initiative and then you're really a real cop in real life, because it sounds kind of like a downer, like a lot of bad news, a lot of, negative images of black people and couples and marriage and whatnot. So what do you do that's positive to get you up out of the doldrums, so to speak?
You're talking about what it keeps me from being almost in the depressive state of seeing so much negative in that term?
Yes.
I have a 12-year-old son who refuses to let me be negative.
Okay.
Daddy, let's play Street Fighter. Let's play Dragon Ball. Let's go watch this movie. Let's go to Comic-Con. Sure. You know what? We're going to go to the comic book store. We're going to go to Comic-Con.
Please tell me you do not wear a costume. Fred Faulkner. You know you going out like Spock. You know you going out there looking like Spock. Come on, man.
I'm not a Trekkie, so if I would go out like somebody, I'd probably go out with somebody more interesting.
Oh,
but
wait, you're gonna tell it. You're gonna tell it now, man. Is Black Panther? Wolverine.
I never dressed up yet, or cosplay as the actual term is called. Hell, if I was gonna do it, I'd be Panther from the Thundercat. Shout out to Grandpa High School. But,
damn, that's seriously old school. Seriously old school, America.
I would be Panther from the Thundercat.
That's funny.
Hey, I ain't gonna be mad at him for his pick though.
I hear you.
I ain't gonna be mad at him for that's a good pick, man. He had the car, nigga. Wasn't nobody fucking with that nigga. You know? I'm tripping. I'm sorry.
Even white people say, yeah, that's the black one. He was the coolest one. I ain't gonna lie. And it's funny. I'm glad you said that, Gigi, because real quick, I'll say it. In the world of law enforcement, it's very, very bleak black. I mean, I know BGS spoke about the black pill. Yes, it gets very black pill. If you actually, I went to Iraq for 18 months, and I was in the Army for 10 years, and let me see, the 18th of this month, I'll be going into my 13th year at the police department, and hopefully by November, December, I'll find out where I sit on the promotions list for sergeant. So you see a lot of bleak, like, everybody knows. Even the most novice person knows that people only call the police when shit's fucked up beyond recognition. One thing I'll give the black community don't call police unless shit is legitimately fucked up. Compared to other races of people. White people will call the police, there was a strange there's a strange person walking down the street, ma'am. The First Amendment said you could do that shit. Please don't call us. I'll lock myself out of my apartment. That's the police matter. Call maintenance, nigga. But the thing about it is you have to, and I think a lot of police. Matter of fact, this week we had a police officer commit suicide because he was going through a really fucked up divorce.
Okay.
And I'll say this, and this might help somebody who's listening. Even if they're not law enforcement or if they have a high-stress job or career, always have an outlet. Two things I've learned. Never be afraid to laugh at yourself and always have an outlet. They could be video games, it could be video games, and it should be working out. Those are the two goddamn outlets you better have. You should always work out. I don't give a damn if it's just walking. Release that goddamn stress. That stress is I'm going to say this for black people especially because I love my people. Believe it or not, we are some motherfuckers to the motherfuckery of motherfuckerstivity. But I love my people. And I want my people to do well and progress and prosper. Release that goddamn stress. To my independent women who are in corporate America, nurses, whatever degrees, even to the street dudes who I speak to. Release that goddamn stress. Because stress is like stress and diabetes are like fucking kryptonite to black people, man. Always have an outlet. Play a sport, do something that you enjoy, read, do something. Because a lot of shit like this, and here's another thing. So since this is basically the topic of who's the prize, and the reason why myself and Chaos came up with this issue is stop looking at it like a game, like a contest. If you find somebody that you can mesh with and you're happy with that person, stop looking at it as a competition. There is no championship. You both are supposed to win. When that man is down, that woman is supposed to pick him up. When that woman is down, you're supposed to pick your lady up. Enjoy your time. You're still above rank. There are too many things. You need outlets. And I think black people, because of our culture, we're too afraid to talk to people about our issues. I've seen too many women who've been in long-term abusive relationships. I've seen men who've been in abusive relationships or stressed out situations, afraid to talk. There have been calls where people were like suicidal, and the only thing that kept them from taking their life was just they wanted somebody to talk to. They wanted somebody to speak to them like a person and not judge them. And you know what? For 30 minutes to an hour, I spoke to them and checked up on them. Wasn't even a call. Sometimes when I'm working, I knock on the door and see how they're doing. And they're like, thank you, I have a new lease on life. It ain't the big thing. I don't do shit for thanks. If you do things for a reward, you're a fucked up individual. Okay? The only reward you should get is your paycheck. But sometimes the golden part of life.
You sound more positive than you did the last time you called in, so that's good.
Well, I'm always positive. I just like to talk and think. Like I like to get everybody thinking, get the best out of everybody. Some people may be angry at what I said because guess what? I want that emotion out of you. I want you to think about what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just hey, I don't want you to always agree. Be a goddamn human being. Use your own brain.
Yes, people, man. Yes, man.
I hate yes. I'd rather work with an asshole than a yes man because at least you know where the fuck you stand with that asshole. Yes men will stab you in the back.
Yeah. Okay. Let me take this caller. Somebody's called in. Who's this? Open your line. Who's this?
Okay, it's me again. Do you want me to talk or not?
No. If you can, is that you can?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Are you ready?
All right.
What's on your mind, Ken? Kenneth?
Okay, well maybe not. Let me just get this out real quick. In answering the question, as far as my opinion as to who is the prize, I've always maintained that the women, in relationship, in the whole grand scheme of things, you know, the women are the prize. Okay, there's a reason why going throughout the annals of history, women have always been treated a certain way because of their. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, because of their importance because of their importance as far as furthering the human race. See, the fact of the matter is, as much as we may not want to admit it, we don't need a lot of men to reproduce. We need a lot of women. You know, one man can reproduce, you know, as many women as he can get a hold of. But you can't say the same for women because once a woman gets pregnant, she's done for the year. You know, and then you combine that with the fact that you know that women cannot get pregnant all throughout their life, whereas men can impregnate women all throughout their lives. So men found it very, very obligatory to make sure that they take care of the women all the way up to death, because I think this is a problem I think we have as far as black men is we don't value our seed enough to where we protect the women that reproduce us. But you know, that's a very surface level answer as far as my personal opinion on who's more important. So
I look at it like this. I'm not trying to be, you know, contrary or adversarial. I look at it as men and women are equally as important, but we just have different roles.
Right, that's true.
And the modern time, I fucking hate this, and I just got to put it out there. I fucking hated that. Well, we're equals. We're not equals. My woman is not going to come out there when there's noise in the house I'm gonna grab my AR-15 and my Glock, and I'm gonna go and probably my fucking knives and go check it out. And I'm gonna pick my fucking pit bull who's in the back barking like she better stay her ass and use the bathroom. But anyway, back to the conversation. You know, I don't expect that from a woman.
Yeah.
Even if
and you're right. Yeah. Can I just?
I was just gonna finish up real quick. I'm gonna let you speak. There's times I look at it. In my heart of hearts, I just think we're too competitive right now with each other. And instead of enjoying each other for our differences and building each other up where we're weakest and maintaining where we're strongest, I think they're just, especially in the black community, we're just too adversarial in a lot of these ways. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I agree. You know, I mean, when we start, you talking about relationships, I think I remember ABC was talking about it. I don't know if he's on, but it was that yin and yang, and both are equal importance when it comes to relationships and parenting and stuff like that. But it's already been done. Again, I've always felt that the difference between one big difference between the black community and other races is that our men we don't value reproduction like others do, and maybe because it's so easy for us to reproduce relative to other races, but because that's why, you know, when people give me a hard time when I because I am a traditionalist, you know, and I say certain things that maybe people, you know, get mad at me about, but it is in an effort to make us better, in my opinion. But I do definitely feel, I mean, even like what you're saying, you say, well, somebody, you know, breaks into the house, you're going to get your AR-15 or whatever. Well, she can do the same thing you just said you could do. She can get her pit bull and do the same thing. You know, back in the day, you know, that when her guns weren't readily available, you know, you definitely did need a man that was capable of, you know, physically defending any kind of oncomer that, you know, may be looking to do the family harm. You know, but I mean, like I said, brother, I always felt you had a good head on your shoulders. I wish we had more people like you. I don't necessarily agree with everything. You hang out with the B1 Network, right, Charles? Hello.
B1 Network. What does that have to do with anything?
No, I mean, I'm just saying overall.
You ain't B1. You're not B1.
Wait. What does that have to do with the conversation?
No, I had to mop something up. So it was not good.
I was just saying. I respect what most of the stuff that you say. That was the reason why I was saying. I wanted to make sure that it was you. That's all.
Y'all ain't B1. Y'all is not B1.
I wanna go after Sarge to go.
I'll put it to you this. I go where I go. And I don't expect men to always agree. You know, if I find a man who agrees 3 things with me 100%, I'm gonna look at you strange because you don't got your own goddamn mind. I don't, you know, sometimes people are gonna argue that's the nature of the beast. As long as you do it respectfully, I don't care. You know, there's times I don't agree with everything people say. You know, and that's how it is. You know, that's how men are. We
right.
Intelligent, discuss our issues, and we come to an agreement, or we come to a middle ground at least.
Right. Of course. Absolutely. So, but hey, you know what? I'll step back. I'll listen in. And you know, I look forward to you know, what listen to everybody else's comments. What's up, Amiri? You still on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all
can
right,
you hear
brother.
me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Huh?
I think it's Sergeant's turn now.
Yeah. Let's start getting here. Let him say his thing. Go ahead, Sarge. We're listening.
Yeah, that was tough, wasn't it? Hey, look, I got to admit here now, I'm constantly bemused by how often I hear complaints from the respective two genders, and it ain't nothing but two genders, about how fickle women are, and by women as how promiscuous men are and can be. And we are always in peril when we ignore human nature. The reason for these basic, and I say very basic, truths about men and women go to the basics of human nature as determined by evolution. Women are fickle, or at least traditionally have been, and they're reticent sexually because they got more at stake in the reproductive game. For most of human history, one of the greatest causes of death of women was childbirth. Not only are they at risk during childbirth, as Kenneth quite accurately pointed out, their reproductive life is relatively short compared to men. So they got to be more discriminating in choosing a partner to ensure that that partner is going to stick around to help them raise their contribution to the human gene pool to adulthood. They got to pick a good man who's going to be there for them. It makes sense. And the reason men are more profligate, or tend to be profligate and promiscuous, is because they are the catalyst to get the whole reproductive game rolling. We go around sniffing around women, showing the interest to get them interested. And let's face it, we can be profligate and promiscuous because we can do it for much longer and reproduce much longer than they can, and don't have the same interest in being careful and discriminating. Now, that's the basic outline. I know there are differences in particulars, but it is the basic outline that almost everybody sees and speaks to. So when you ignore human nature and you don't take this into account when you are involved in a relationship, especially when you're trying to start one, that's where you run into trouble. That's where we get all these grievances. People are upset because the other party doesn't seem to be responding the way we think they ought to. And in response to Brother Faulkner, I listen to what you're saying. And, you know, I'm a retired copper myself. And I put it down to 5 basic things that'll keep you straight if you're going to be a cop. Number 1, you can't change the world. Number 2, everybody lies to you, victims and offenders, your bosses and the politicians. Number 3, because the nature of the job exposes you to the worst things people do, does not mean that most people are that way, just because that's what you see on the job. Number 4, don't get badge heavy. You ain't the police. You are a police officer. And finally, don't overthink enforcing the law. That ain't your job. It's to do it the way it's written. And be satisfied with that. You get through your career, and you probably won't go nuts.
Well, I got a little bit of, I love you, but I got to debunk some of that. Number 1, to be a cop, you got to be a little nuts in the first goddamn place.
Yeah, I got to go along with you on that one.
Yeah,
you're right about that.
Just the same as being in the military. You damn near a criminal.
I was both. You got to damn near be a little nuts to go.
Yeah, I got to go with you there, brother. You're probably right.
I got to run from this gunfire.
But I'm not. Yeah.
But I'm not.
Yeah. I ought to bust this big mouth sergeant in his damn mouth, but I'm not. Yeah, you know.
Well,
are you capable of making your own points without reference to me? I don't think you are you?
You didn't mention any names.
He said this big mouth done about me. You know he was. I know him. I'm not going to pretend like I don't.
You want it to be about you, bro. Why can't I have a conversation with somebody else?
We were talking about the military.
God damn, brother, I'm sorry. When I show up, my tail usually follows me. Right.
I like the shit talking. I do admire it. See, you got to understand something. For all my military, veterans, salute you to Mo, who's saluting the service people and service members. So you got to understand something. My 12-year-old asked me a question not too long ago. He says, what's the difference between the bad guys and the good guys? And I told him, son, it's simple. The bad guys use human shields. The good guys are the human shields. And when you put it in perspective, I'll give you a quick scenario. There was a 16-year-old kid, light skin, you know how teenage boys are, when the facial hair start coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I treat him because I raised my nephew, who's the 5th generation to go to the military. We probably have deeper than that, but I'm the 4th generation to go to war. I went to Iraq. My father went to Vietnam. His father went to Korea. My great-grandfather was in World War II. So in the 20th century, where there was an ass to be kicked for the United States, there was a Faulkner there. I had to treat him the way I would treat my nephew and my son, would just stare at you in your eyes for like 2-3 minutes and look at your soul. He was brought in because he was already in this facility where, unfortunately, and that's got to be another fucking dude. How the fuck we save our young people? That's going to be another topic for another day.
Shit, man, that's a weak topic, man.
Oh, that's shit. We'll make it a week, goddamn.
Yeah, that's a week. That ain't no one-day topic because that's so difficult. You got so many influences.
Part of the Great Faulkner Initiative. And people be like, what about the girls? The females and the girls and the women have a great role to play within the Great Faulkner Initiative. People be like, well, you only focus on the boys.
Speak up a little bit, Charles.
I'm sorry, the mic's going to do big-ass shoulders. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The Great Faulkner Initiative is primarily for black boys and black young men because they're the most accosted, the most offended, the most expelled, the most fucked with, the most arrested, the most incarcerated. I want to live and see a fucking day where I want to see majority of the military black. I want to see majority of our police departments black. Most of our fire departments black. Most of our skilled tradesmen black. Most of our educated men black. Because every time you have an issue with the police department, it becomes a black issue. When the military, when they be like, well, black people say they want reparations. If you got 100 million black people, if you have 1 million black people in the military, in the active duty military, not counting reserves and National Guard, the numbers for the military is 1.8 million. If we're the majority and we say, well, if we ain't getting our reparations, we ain't protecting you motherfuckers. We have more power. It's like when Nintendo came out with the Super Nintendo, it took the moniker from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, more power. I want to make sure that those of you who have daughters, I want to say we have suitable men for your daughters to have husbands. I don't want to leave this earth and fail. As they say, failure is not an option. So when you have these issues, the community, you should have an officer that you could be like, hey, my son's not doing shit. Matter of fact, one of my best friends, his stepson, who was about 9 or 8 at the time, he just asked me, just come in uniform and scare the shit out of him from stealing in school. So I did that. Didn't have to arrest him. Didn't have to put a record on him. Scared the shit out of him. You put him in handcuffs. Do you like that feeling? No. And he was crying. No, don't take me. You keep this lifestyle, you keep this up in your life, this is what's going to become of it. So I'd rather have police in my community that look like me, that empathize with me, that knows what the fuck I go through as a black person, as a black man, and not look at me as a suspect, but look at me as a person, as a goddamn human being. You cannot ask to change if you're not willing to change with your goddamn self. I kind of miss those days of the old Army. I was in the last parts of the old Army where you would see a fucking E5 and a fucking lieutenant colonel arguing with each other. And they said, you know what, motherfucker, let's go behind the wood line to settle our issues. Nobody played that bitch shit and said, oh, I'm going to write you up, you hit me. Nah. People forget how men solve their issues. We got 3 ways of communicating. We yell it out, we talk it out, we yell it out, we fight it out, and we're all getting drinks later on that day. Nobody went after you. Worked out for each other once upon a time in the black community. See, people don't understand history. Before I was a criminal justice major, I was a history major. Do you know how jealous white America was jealous of black America?
Always.
How the fuck did we enslave these people? How the fuck did we put them in Jim Crow and they making more money than us? The only way they could fucking take out Tulsa, Oklahoma with Black Wall Street, they had to bomb us. If we fucking reinstate the strong man with a strong, supportive woman, you're unbeatable. Hell, I got to use comic book terminology. You're invincible. Your strength is incalculable.
What?
If the black woman's there to augment
This is what I put on mine.
That motherfucker's Superman. And guess what? She may not be Superman.
When they just cut it out. They cut it out, remember?
Hold on, Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth, mute your line, bruh.
Don't worry, I did it. Continue.
She may not be. It's a funny thing I wrote for my girl for Valentine's Day. You may not be Superwoman, but you'll always be wonderful with me. With a black Wonder Woman with natural black hair. I want a day where my woman will not just, and when I mean my women, I'm not just talking about women I dated. I'm talking about women in the fucking goddamn black America can go out there happy to be nappy, as the old saying goes, proud to be black, proud to be near a black man, proud to know if she's being accosted by some jackass, the 5 black men will protect her. I want a day where if a black man is being disrespected by a woman, 5 black women will come to his aid and tell that one and check that woman and say, "You better respect that man." I don't like the status of the black community current because we don't even, if you really think about it, we don't even got a goddamn community. We just got a bunch of black people who live near each other. I'm the last generation where if you were caught fucking up in the community, you got a neighborhood worth of ass whooping. Your parents didn't even have to touch you. You had so many ass whoopings, you couldn't even sit down for a fucking week. But guess what? Was that abuse or was that love? Discipline without love is abuse. Because we love you, because you represent the best of us, we're going to check you. Fuck this Pookie and Ray Ray, because guess what? If you think about it, majority of us have a little Pookie and Ray Ray in all of us. We have a little bit of fucking educated lame in all of us. We have a little bit of classic man in all of us, because God knows I love Jordans and wingtips equally. When people ask me about the Grey Faulkner Initiative, guess what? Do you want your son?
We don't want to hear about the Greg Faulkner Initiative. We want to hear about the Thundercat Initiative. And by the way, so what do you tell your son? You said what you would tell your nieces and the females and daughters. What do you tell your sons and nephews and such, gentlemen?
What do I tell my sons, my wrestlers, who are like my sons? I can't get rid of these motherfuckers. Matter of fact, one of my wrestlers actually lived with me. Found him a job.
So what do you tell them about dating and marriage and...
Let me get there, Gigi. Let me get there. I got to warm up to it, Gigi. All right, love?
Okay.
All right? Let me get there. Put it to you this way. This I can't even call him a boy. This young man, his family would knock him every time he tries to progress. Oh, you're not going to graduate high school. He was fucking up in class. And I had to grab him I took him in a corner and punched him right in his gut. I said, "Yo, you're a representation of me and every black man that comes before you. Stop fucking up." He went to his job on time. Matter of fact, 30 minutes to an hour on time. 2 months of working that motherfucker, they made him a supervisor. And he's only 20.
Well, how old was... Never mind. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had other wrestlers live with me who were 15. Because their parents gave up on them. And they stayed with me for like 4 or 5 months. learn how to tie ties, learn how to pick a suit, learn how to iron, learn how to fucking change a tire, learn how to cut grass, learn how to fix a fucking pipe in the sink. You're not going to be a bird on somebody. You're going to be an asset.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, DJ.
So wherever they weren't able to teach them that, or they just didn't want to learn it?
Well, some cases it's a situation of column A and column B. Some situations is you can't teach what you don't know. I cannot. I don't care how great the black woman is. You cannot teach her black woman. Just like I cannot teach your daughter how to be a woman. I can tell her what's ladylike, but it's another thing of being around a bunch of ladies, teaching you what a lady is supposed to be. Remember, men and women are not held to the same standards. We're not looked upon in society as the same. They could quote all this equality bullshit, but when you actually go down to bare bones, you're going to be looked at differently. So, yes, you're going to be a man. Yes, you're going to hold doors for women. Well, what if she's rude? Guess what? Tell her have a nice day and turn your back to her and don't even argue with her. I had an incident when I went to a nice lounge in Baltimore. And this lady, when she tried to say, when she made this, well, you know, we're equal to men. And no, we're not. We're not equal, sweetheart. Well, you're being misogynistic. And she's waving her finger. I said, my 60-year-old mother doesn't disrespect me. So either two things are going to happen. You're going to apologize for your disrespect, the conversation over. So I turned around and walked away from her. The conversation over. Later that night, she was begging for my attention. I'm not going to argue with you. For what? You're wrong. So when you actually respect in the community, it's contagious. Two things I've noticed that are contagious: respect and ignorance. What is going to be your legacy? Are we going to build a legacy of overachievers, or are we going to build a legacy of ignorance? That's the big question. Because if you build a legacy of ignorance, you're going to still have the same shit that we have today. That's infecting our neighborhood. But when you build a community of respect, love, loyalty, dignity, courage, self-sacrifice, you can't help but to even piss greatness. Last time I checked, black people piss greatness. Why do you think they go out of their way to systematically put you on the back burner? They said if we made that black man great, he would carry that fucking community to the heights, to the pinnacle of success. You will be the apex out there. Our black women are already more educated than us. If that black woman said, baby, since they're going to discriminate against you, I'm going to use this education, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to support you. Because, you know, when a black man gets a supportive black woman, that motherfucker will move heaven and earth to please her. Am I lying, Gigi?
You get an amen. You get an amen for that one.
Hey, this ain't church.
Glory.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When that black man is doing well, who benefits? The whole goddamn, not just the woman, not just the kids, but the whole goddamn community.
That is true. You ever notice, like, when you see a young black man wearing a cap and gown coming down the street, and you don't even know him, you don't need to know, you just feel so proud and so happy for him, and the pride on his face is so ethereal that it's mind-boggling sometimes. I'm done.
And I'm a piggyback for that. You know why? Because every time, and this is a goddamn shame. I'm sorry, I'm using more language. I'm smoking my cigar. I'm drinking some spice rum. So it's going to get a little real. Still going to be articulate, but I'm going to get real. Because we shame our boys into being men. You know what? I was so tired because I worked the midnight shifts. My lady, I told her, you know what? You take my son to his school night. And I want you to see what I see every time. And remember this. I didn't finish college. I'm still working on my degree. Actually, I took a hiatus because I'm trying to get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to gear the next generation of black officers. So when hopefully by November or January or February, I won't be Officer Faulkner. I'll be Sergeant Faulkner.
Okay, listen, Thundercat. Would you advise, and in Baltimore, do they have, like, real counseling services for cops, like, that you can go to that have nothing to do with the department, or you have to go within the department?
Well, we have a health and wellness department, which is
they have,
which the department pays for, but it's not under the department.
If they don't have some place outside of the department to go?
They have places you can go outside of the department.
And it'll be confidential?
It has to be confidential because because you got to remember, mental health there's no difference between mental and physical health. That's still HIPAA laws. They can't use that against you. Matter of fact, we have something called stress medical. Meaning, if I need time because I'm so heavily stressed or going through something, you have to. A lot of people get upset about police-involved shootings, like the shooting we had with, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it on World Star or Instagram when the guy was trying to kill police and there was a shootout. One of the reasons why you suspend them, because guess what? Excuse me. One of the most stressful things you could do in an office is take a life, even though as for my military and my retired or former police officer will tell you, sometimes to preserve life, you might have to take one.
Really?
Do we wish that to be? Do we want to take life? You have to be a sick bastard to openly want to just take a life. Just go to roll call and say, I want to kill a motherfucker. You're a sick bastard. You mean?
Well, I don't think they would say it out loud, though. I think they might be thinking about it over and over for weeks, maybe months or years. Who knows?
Even months and years. Whether you say it out loud or mentally or spiritually or emotionally, you're a sick bastard.
Right.
You should always try to preserve life till the time comes you might have to take one.
But haven't you ever worked with one that would seem like he was just a little bit too giddy-up cowboy, a little bit too anxious to start fighting or escalating situations?
Well, that's the motherfucker you pull to the side and be like, look, you dumb motherfucker, stop starting shit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why, in the Gray Faulkner Initiative, you want more black police officers. You want more black.
Greg, we know your name. Stop doing the commercial. Just talk.
Not me, but it's the fact that the reason why the initiative is that when you have it, you want more people in power in these departments. You have to say and be like, no, we don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I never ran.
Were you one of the people that always wanted to be a cop?
I'm Charles. I'm Faulkner.
I mean, Charles. I don't know why I keep calling you Greg. Charles, did you always want to be a cop?
Yeah, it's my dream. One of my dream jobs.
What was the other dream job?
The military.
Oh wow! Was there a third?
Well, I've done the mixed martial arts thing too. I've accomplished what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now, guys. I'm going to stop.
All right, Charles. Before you continue, let me open this next line. And one thing, Big J Triple X, I see you in the chat room. Charles Faulkner is here, so if you're scared, you can stay in the chat room as you please. But if you don't call, please contribute to this conversation. All right. Who's this? I'll open up.
Why do you want me to call in?
Oh, that's you. Okay. All right, Big J. What's on your mind? I know it was you on the line.
Nothing. You want me to call in? What you want me to call in about?
Okay, now I remember you have an issue, Mr. Charles Faulkner, in previous shows. He's here now. Express what's your problem. Besides the
man, I'm not trying to engage in no beef right now, man. I'm trying to get in the cut, man.
Okay, so what can you contribute to tonight's topic in regards to the topic at hand?
That men are the prize. Well, I mean, I think those men should act like that they are the prize.
Well,
the maybe having these problems would be occurring.
Hey, Big J, do you think men should think they are a prize or the prize? Sorry, I was just looking for clarification.
Well, given the current climate, I said D. Otherwise, I would be agreeing with you on A, but given the current climate, I said D at this point.
And B is what, Big J?
Okay. It's kind of like that Gillette commercial. Talking about how masculinity is toxic. Talking about every man who asserts himself, he's displaying toxic masculinity. So that's I'm gonna stay on it, and you start seeing the tide is shifting back. The pendulum is swinging back towards off that insane, misandrous talking point. So that's all I'm going to say. I'll back away.
Well, Big J, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Do me a favor. If anybody ever makes the statement of toxic masculinity, call them and tell them Officer Faulkner said this. You are a stupid motherfucker.
Amen.
How can masculinity be toxic? It's no toxic than femininity.
It is a state of being masculine. It can't be toxic.
Hold on. Let me answer that. Let me give some context to that because
I just want to throw this one little bit in. Sorry, Big J, but the truth got to be out there. I mean, Big J thinks there's a such thing as toxic femininity. So, I mean, I'm just
there are
saying.
women who are toxic, but that's not because they have femininity.
Well, now you sound like,
You hear what I just said? I said women can be toxic.
I didn't say anything to you, brother. I didn't say. I almost did.
Toxic individual.
I was just putting a little clarification out there. You asked Big J, toxic masculinity. I mean, it's obvious if he thinks it's toxic masculinity, he thinks it's toxic femininity too. I mean, don't miss that point. He thinks that.
So can I jump in? Can I jump in there?
Hold on. Just say this real quick, Mary. Is that Mama's boy that just stated?
Yeah, that was me.
I look at it like this. There are negative aspects and positive aspects of both femininity and masculinity. It is what it is. Is a lion evil because he hunts the gazelle?
Nah.
So is it cool for men to be aggressive? When you're defending, you're married, right? You have a lady.
Well, I've been there.
So whoever's the lady in your life, are you going to protect her?
Well, hey, I'm not saying I agree with Big J. I'm just making sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Of course, me. I was taught at a very young age, before 10, that being a male with females, your life is on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
Here's a little. I got to go back to my history, right? Do you know who encouraged aggression in males?
Shit, females.
Your mothers early in life will tell the boys, "You're a boy, stop crying," because guess what? We forget the scientific imperatives of men and women. Women always nest. Why? If you want the best household, should your woman run the household? Yes. It's no different. It's no different than the military.
I don't want that damn madness.
It's no difference than being the commanding officer and the first sergeant. For all my people who were in the Army, who ran the company?
The first sergeant.
For who had the final say-so? The commander.
When you could find the motherfucker.
If he's smart, he stay out the way and find the picture.
You stay the hell out the way, right?
Guess what? Like my lady and I now, we work so well together. She can run the house and tell people do what the fuck, but guess who she's going to get the final say-so from? Me. Did I demoralize her? Did I take away from her femininity? No. Because if I'm like, hey, baby, we got to, come here, we got to sit at the table. Y'all kids go upstairs, y'all put on Netflix. You better turn that motherfucker up, because if I find you eavesdropping, I'm going to whoop ass. All right, baby. Something wrong with the finances. Something wrong. Just like this. My girl asked me, you don't want a woman to challenge you? Fuck no. I want a woman to advise me. There's a difference.
Just in my little bit of history, all the successful families and marriages and that built something, it was the man and the woman was pageantry, because behind closed doors, that man was doing what that woman wanted to do. And all he needed to know was what she wanted to do, and he was going to figure out some kind of way to make it all come together. That's the one thing that I remember always in the successful ones. The unsuccessful ones, there's always some tyrannical dude beating up his old lady and abusing the kids. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that, because I got to say this. That's the negative zone of masculinity, using your power against your woman who can't match it. Just like men are more physical, we're stronger, we're faster, we're more logical. Women are the most cunning creatures because they can't beat us in a fucking fair fight. They'll demoralize us. So there's negative and positive. Just like, for all you Star Wars fans, the light side of the Force, the dark side of the Force. I call myself the Great Jedi. There is no light, there is no dark. It's just here. Okay? So when you have a man who knows how to be a leader, that leader lets the squad flow. See, this is the reason why a lot of the police departments, for all you people listening, by the way, can y'all put some likes in the goddamn, on the like box for this? Because this is probably the most enjoyable time I had here, and I'm actually enjoying myself right now with Gigi. Me and Gigi had some battles, but I'm enjoying Gigi and everybody else on here. Even Big J. This is actually enjoyable. We're actually communicating.
I just sense a tad bit of cordiality for some reason, but that's cool. I mean, it's I've been away for a while, so this is kind of new to me.
Faulkner, I think one thing we ought to recognize and accept is that the world, whether we think it's fair or not, whether we like it or not, whether even it should be or not, the world is governed by the use or threat of force. Now the question is, does that force and its application have a moral dimension or not? That's something we've been fighting about ever since people began to organize themselves into groups. But one thing we bet not do And I mean that goes for anybody anywhere on this planet. We better not pretend that it will be anything but that as long as human beings have the human nature that we are imbued with right now. The world is going to be governed by the use of force.
Well, you got to understand, early man in Africa, because we ain't evolved from cave people. We were better than that. We actually taught cave people how to be civilized.
We taught them motherfuckers how to walk.
We taught them motherfuckers how to wash their ass.
Taught the motherfuckers how to get away from animals. Stop sleeping with them motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. But see, this is the part that people don't understand. That, number one, there's nothing wrong with a man being masculine. I could walk in a room full of women and a disaster happens. Guess who their women are going to look? They're going to look for me or any other man in their closest vicinity to get them out of their shit. But guess what? If the men of the community had to fight, remember, first rule of law of warfare, all armies march on their stomach. If you have a supportive unit, remember the support unit is just as important as the fighting forces.
Yeah, more important.
If not more important.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If I gotta fight a war and she gotta maintain the house, that's less stressful than me.
Yeah, amateurs study tactics, professionals study logistics.
Exactly. Because if I cut your logistics off,
you done.
You
ain't gonna last. You ain't gonna last that long. We'll just wait you out. I'll throw a couple of them out there, give you a hassle, and we'll pull them in late at night. We'll just wait you out before you know it. You ain't got provisions. We can walk in there.
What do you think happened in Iraq? Before we put
the first war when they was waving the flags, yeah, they ran out.
Before even when I went to, even before, well, for all the people who went out for the military, the first Iraqi war was Persian Gulf.
Yeah, it was nothing.
And during Iraqi kingdom,
but another thing about the first Gulf War too, the 82nd Airborne was the only combat unit there for quite some time. It would have been nothing more than a speed bump for Saddam Hussein's armored legions. The fact is, logistics enable him to get a foothold and build up a beachhead, which enable him to eventually kick his ass.
Exactly. So I like to take military science and put it into the black community. Instead of worrying about, well, the women like, I'm not going to name names, instead of worrying about prom dates and how black women, look, the only difference, women love manly, masculine men. He ain't got to be the prettiest motherfucker because guess what? Here's a little secret for all these guys, if we have any young men. Women love seasoned men. You know why? Because they know if shit goes bad, you get them out of it. You know what my lady says? My lady's actually older than me. She'll be 43 in December. I'm 37. She says, I have a right to be indecisive. I'm a woman. So
well, you can remember how we got to this point, man. We got to this point because cultural Marxists tried to convince us that women really want sensitive, weak-ass men. And a lot of people in this country bought that shit. And there ain't no way in the hell in the history of mankind, women as a whole and a group have preferred weak, indecisive men. It ain't never happened, and it ain't never going to happen. But we've got a cultural elite trying to convince us that it's true.
No, we don't, man. We got Ralph Tresvant. Ralph Tresvant. Do you remember New Edition Sarge? You was probably a young little lad. That ain't no Marxism. That's just the way fucking shit went.
Look, I don't want to go into that right now because we'll be arguing about it. I'd rather talk about the issue that the basic issue is that women do not want indecisive men. They particularly do not want effeminate men.
Get the fuck out of here.
They
don't. Just mad because they don't want
to have a discussion about cultural Marxism, we can do that, but I don't think Officer Faulkner.
I'm going to just say this. that.
All
right.
Charles, 1 second.
Hey, man. What's going on? This is JNYC. What's going on, man? Hey, man, respect, Gary, for you putting the show on tonight, man.
Yeah, much
respect.
All right, go ahead, Charles. Sorry about that.
I'm going to say this, right? Because I'm going to bridge the gap to you now. Women love men that are capable. She ain't looking for the... Guess what? The reason why women love certain characteristics of men, because guess what? When it comes to going back to the subject at hand, a woman is a man's glory. A man is a woman's battle axe and shield. The reason why we want the pretty girl who supports us is because it's status to us. I will cut down trees. I will fight the beasts of the earth. I will fight armies. And look at what the fuck I produce. Strong, intelligent children, and a beautiful woman. A woman will have the respect because of her man. She could walk down the street and nobody will even try her. You know why? Because she says, if you accost me, my motherfucking man will come and bring fucking hell and brimstone off the, like that. See, this is the point that I make. See, people, I love what Chaos did with the fucking comment, and hopefully everybody put some likes up in that motherfucker. It's because certain things you put on YouTube captures people's imagination. It's like, no, I got to listen to this. You know why? Because I like to flip things on its head. The relationship between men and women, especially in the black community, is not of dominance, is not of subversion, is not just of submission. It's symbiotic. There is no me without you. There's no you without me. We bring the best out of each other. When I went to go take the oral exam for my fucking test, guess who ironed my shirt while I was showering? When my lieutenant wanted to be an asshole and fucking sabotage me, letting me, because I worked midnight, my oral exam was 7:30. I didn't get home till 4:00 in the morning. Guess who woke me up? Guess who ironed my clothes? Guess who had my suit ready? Guess who fixed my collar? Guess who said, you represent us. You're the best of us. When she's stressed out being a director of a learning center, guess who's listening to her? Guess who's giving her advice? Guess who's telling her how to tackle her fucking shit? How many times I go to work, ready to go to work, and guess who's fixing my dinner already and packed it up already before I even leave? Is that not what you want out of your community? Imagine if we had 100,000 black families like that. 1 million. 20 million. You can't stop the juggernaut. You can only slow his forward momentum, but you can't stop him. See, black men are Superman. They're Kryptonians. How does, for all you comic book geeks, even the low key, where does Superman get his strength? From the goddamn sun. And guess who the sun's supposed to be? His women. If that sun's bright yellow shining, that motherfucker's moving planets with his bare hands. You can't stop anything but that type of power. But if that woman's negative, she's a red sun. And what happens to Kryptonians under a red sun?
They get weak as hell, shouted.
You like that analogy, don't you? You like that analogy, don't you? Give me my props.
Yeah, man. You know you've been reading some comic books, man.
Man, It's clever. It's clever, man, but I don't like Superman. He a bitch.
No. Superman
I'm just saying.
You know why? You know, Superman's a man's man, especially the current iteration of Superman. Superman's a father.
Yeah,
like
Superman got defeated by Batman.
Yeah, Superman got his ass whooped by Batman.
Immortal. Yeah, so I can't give Superman all of that love.
All right, guys.
But I'm a nerd. I'm sorry, bro. I'm a nerd.
I know you're a nerd because I could tell, but I'm going to tell you what. Read Lex Luthor, Man of Steel, #7.
Yeah,
When Superman ain't fucked with Batman. And he fucks Batman up, and Batman had to say, "You know what?"
That was their first. Yeah, that was their first meeting. You know how Batman is. Batman is a man of.
That wasn't their first meeting. That's when Superman said, "Look, I got a job to do. Stay the fuck out of my way." Batman thought he was Billy Badass, and Superman had to pluck his ass. Look, the only reason
I'm gonna leave that alone.
He even said it. And Batman versus Superman #3. He said, "You remember all those times I let you beat me?" Yeah, exactly, because I let you. And that's the same relationship with the black man and black woman. The black woman will either make you feel like Superman or be your kryptonite.
Yeah,
I made 3 video responses to Cynthia G about black men want everything but not building things. I even went, and even in my last video, and gave you inventors, not throughout history, just the last 50 to 100 years of inventors that black men invented that changed the world to this day. Okay? How many of you got a PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? That's a black man. You got a Super Soaker? That was a black man. By the way, that same black man who invented the Super Soaker, he worked for NASA. He made shit to make sure the heat didn't get inside the fucking spaceships.
Well, but you know what though? I think like even with that whole trope that that Cynthia keeps throwing out there talking about black men not building, I think this speaks to where you would look for random black men who don't owe you anything to build something, because the men you tend to want to hop in a bed with aren't building anything for you, and that's what a lot of these sisters do. You want to go over here and you want to fuck with this non-productive black male, and then you want to come back and finger wag and lecture other black men about what they're doing when those black men aren't obligated or don't owe you anything to build for you. You see what I'm saying? Stop fucking bums. It's very simple.
Can I say something here? I mean, with all due respect to cordiality, how much of this conversation is like after the ceremony conversation, and we like missing the ceremony of how we got to this position in the first fucking place. Because I mean, let's face it, man. A good 60% of the shit that we do is still translated from slavery. We don't even know we doing it. Okay?
Exactly.
It's right on down to how we talk and conversate. We don't even know how to have a disagreement conversation. So how in the fuck
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, I'm not saying it for you to agree. I'm not saying it for you to agree. I'm lending my opinion here.
I'm gonna fuck with you a little bit.
Well, my thinking here.
The converse. I was gonna fuck with you for a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it as short as I can make it.
Go ahead.
I think one thing we as black folks in this country, we don't do, right? And it goes all the way back to slavery, right? Is as a whole, we don't research any damn thing. If we just simply researched some shit, we probably put the Bible down in 5 minutes. But we so busy still doing the same shit we did on the plantation, go to the church and sit and let the preacher tell us shit, and go back to the slave quarters and don't do no research. Okay, same shit. If we don't even, we have a lack of ability of being honest with ourselves. We tell ourselves false truths, go to work believing that shit. Next thing you know, we building a family with that shit. And it's built on flour. It ain't going to stand. And then we looking crazy when shit don't work out. We don't know how to conversate. We don't know how to take care of each other because we got away from it. Why? Because there's an external force pushing us in that direction. We got to at least address some of these issues before we can have a ceremony, to me.
I'm going to say this real quick. You should always represent the past. You should always respect the ancestors. But what's more important, where you been or where you going?
You can't go nowhere if you don't know where the fuck you been. You walking in circles.
That's true. But the more important aspect is you going forward.
See, but my brother, I would rather move forward with all the truth. Then if you give me half the truth and I move forward, guess what? Down the line, you can spring one on me, and I got to go all the way back because I didn't know.
You know what? Let me.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna let you say this. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay.
Every good general knows that you're gonna have you're gonna have losses. Even in the Gray Faulkner Initiative, we don't ask for everybody. We just look for the 1/3. 1/3 of the black society. You know what? I'm going to get black people from fucking lowering our standards to saying community to society. You know why we are society? Because guess what? I see plenty of white boys, Asian boys. You know, Japan, the Japanese have a culture of trying to get nappy hair.
I've seen that now.
Yeah. I'm looking at an anime on Netflix where it's black characters, all black characters in an anime. The fucking Jews in Germany. How do I know this? When I was 16 and I was doing freestyle Olympic wrestling, and I came in with a bronze medal, third over that motherfucker, by the way, I was only one of 2 black wrestlers representing not only Baltimore, not Maryland, but every black ADOS motherfucker in this country. When they try to fuck with me, well, we're gonna see if this motherfucker good. How is it the white boys get an easy path, but you give me a Russian motherfucker? After I put foot totally in his ass and beat him, them motherfuckers' mouths were on the fucking floor. I was like, pick your mouth up. That's how I'm becoming a man. Mm-hmm. I respect and love my ancestors, and you always hear that I'm the 4th generation to go to war. My nephew's the 5th to join the military. But it's not. But see, this is the problem with black people. We don't prepare our future generations for to be even greater than us.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
We can be respecters of our past, but we damn sure better be prepared for our future. We better.
Well, I think that goes back to the honesty portion, though.
Yeah,
see,
Miles Way.
Yeah, sorry.
Before you say something,
sure.
Charles, I want Mary to speak on it because I don't want to hold him up. He has some.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mary. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, cause I know.
I was gonna say was in that same vein of what you just mentioned. I think we've regressed in a lot of ways. We went backwards. Like it's just like with what Bane told Batman and in that third installment, I forgot what it's called, The Dark Knight Rises. He told him, he told him victory has defeated you, and I think with the civil rights movement and those different things, and we were given this fake bill, this fake receipt of victory and progress and equality, and in a lot of ways, it's made us weaker. It's made us weaker, and we've gone backwards. Like if we look at where we are now, as opposed to where we were coming straight out of slavery, like in the late 1800s, early 1900s, we in a lot of ways we were better off than what we are today. In a lot of ways, like we've totally regressed. We've regressed. Like you look at the culture, you look at the music, we've gone backwards.
Well, you got to look at it. I'm a huge Frankie Beverly fan. That's why I can't listen to certain people. One of my ex-girlfriends used to talk about such and such could sing. I was like, you call that singing? It's like George Foreman said about boxing. And the same thing I say about boxing, MMA, and wrestling. The better it gets, the less it's appreciated. When you have people who can make violence beautiful, we don't even appreciate it because they make people look bad. How do you think they hate John Jones so much? Because he makes his opponents look bad, and he's a world-class athlete. The George St. Pierre, he makes it easy. The most difficult thing is to bend another motherfucker to your will. Okay? See, we don't regress. See, the problem is we're going to be superior to everybody as long as you know you're superior, as long as you keep up that standard. Guess what? When you're the champion, and this is what I learned from wrestling, and boxing, and MMA, when you're the champion, do you train less or do you train more? You train more. You train like you're the fucking challenger. As soon as you train like you're the champion, you lose. Mm-hmm. As soon as you say you made it, you lost. Because what did Rocky find out in Rocky 2? Mr. T whooped that ass. He wasn't hungry anymore. Mm-hmm. When you're not hungry and you don't have a purpose, see, that's the thing about men. And I want all the ladies to get their ears geared up to what I'm about to say. When your men aren't hungry, they get stagnant. They get complacent. I'm not saying you talk it to your men. You galvanize your men. That's why women are important. I'll say it again. I'll ask every woman listening right now, guess what? Get the likes up in the goddamn chat. Do you want ordinary human beings or do you want a race of supermen? That's the responsibility of the women. I don't expect the women to fight. I expect the women to train and support. I'll be your fighter as long as you got my fucking back. That's the number one complaint in the black community. Do you have my goddamn back? Are you watching my motherfucking six? If you got your man 6, he will move heaven and earth to please you. Now, ladies in the chat, am I fucking lying?
Stop cursing, Charles. Listen, excuse me. Ladies in the chat, please call in. MJ, Monica, nobody.
You're the only lady right now. I'm going to ask you in the most articulate way.
Oh,
but you got to forgive me because this is how men speak. If you go to a barbershop, Gigi,
oh, I don't have a problem with cursing. I'm just saying if you want the ladies to come in, you can't say, get your ass in here or you MFing this and that.
In here, I asked them this question. Tell me if I'm lying. I'm just like this. Let me ask you, Gigi, how old are you?
75.
Let me ask you this question. If you put a battery in a man's back, what would he do for you?
Well, I would have put it lower, but that's another story.
Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, you set yourself up for that one.
It was too easy.
I like you for that one, Gigi. You got a good one. But guess what? Am I wrong? When a woman supports a man, Will that man move heaven and earth to please you?
Most of the time, yes. Most of the time.
Almost all the time.
Guarantees. There's no guarantees.
But guess what, Gigi? If that man knows he had a good one, is he gonna be a woman?
I think that's why you sound more happy now, or more calm, because you have a lady in your life now.
No, I always had a lady in my life. I had no problem getting women.
Yeah, but you didn't have this one.
Oh, I had plenty of them. I had plenty of good women.
Yeah, but you didn't have this one, Thundercat.
Oh, I've always had this lady. She was always in the back pocket. She didn't know what she wanted until I told her.
Uh-oh.
In the words of Frankie Beverly, can't you see?
Yeah, but Frankie got a pretty ass damn voice, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Frankie got something going. He got that pretty ass, sultry ass voice, man. That motherfucker start, oh, you going.
I swear to God, man, I don't know what lady he had that turned him out, boy, but when he hit that note,
that nigga be, it's over. You going with it. Yeah.
That's why it's so hard for me to listen to modern music. I will always listen to my parents' generation. One, because I have a black mama and a black father, and guess what? Every goddamn Saturday, you cleaning, and you like, wow, that's some singing. When you hear that Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, which is the proper way to say it, and you hear "Feel That You're Feeling," and he hits that note in that song, if y'all ain't hear that song, you on YouTube after the show, you feel it, and he hits that note, that he can't. That's not singing. That nigga can sign. Okay? That's how you feel. That's how men feel when you galvanize them. Who's next?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me check the board.
We need some more.
Let me give me the call number again. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. The call number for tonight's show is 712-770-4160. Access code 915-411-pound. I repeat, 712-770-4160. Access code 915-411-pound. Tonight's subject is titled Chaos Reign presents Who Really is the Prize, Men or Women? Monica, I know you're back in the back chat enjoying this show, and you're keeping quiet, but it's all good, girl. I ain't gonna knock you. What you about to say, Charles?
I want Mo to come up here. Come on, Mo. I want to hear about your presentation to the service people. I think that's...
Yeah, man, I want to hear that too, man.
I want more ladies
here,
to
girl.
come up.
Better bring that South Carolina.
I want some more lights up here, because this is a pretty productive and great show. I'm loving this shit.
Man, I still think...
Mo says she can't call in because she's cooking for the family. Okay, Mo, I hope you cook some nice ribs, pork chop, and all that good stuff. You know how y'all Southern people love to cook that stuff.
I love it.
Put on the speakerphone. Put on the speakerphone.
I still think the union is the gift. A woman without a husband is a single woman, just a woman. A man without a wife is just a single man. He's just a man. You got a couple when you put them together. You got a husband. You got a wife when you put them together. So the union itself is the gift. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just nerding out on it, but
yeah, I mean, you can nerd out, but it's still true. How old are you, mother's boy?
Late 40s.
So you got to understand something. You're in your second zenith. You're in your second prime when you're in the 40s. Hell, the Japanese said you really be coming to your own not when you're 21, but when you're 42.
That sounds like some Japanese shit.
Because you got hell. That's actually, you know where Japanese got that shit from? They got that shit from Africa.
Well, you know it. All of that Asian shit come from Africa. So
even the Japanese said it for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. In order for you to be a samurai and to be brave, you have to have a bit of black blood in you.
Exactly.
Yep. That's how I do it. Most all your real authentic Japanese are dark skinned anyway.
And that was the reason why I was talking about, what got us to our particular position in 2019. And I don't look at it as a regression. I actually look at it exactly how the white man designed it to go, a full stop. We haven't went backwards. We haven't went forward since the 60s. They didn't want to see that shit no more. And they set policies and parameters and gateways and doorways to make sure that shit don't happen again. And they're not pushing us backwards, but if you understand what the white man has always done to us in this country, is that they've always kept us at one position as they move forward, either gradual or quite fast. But they've always held us in one position. We still in the same position, less than 1% of 1%, I guess, of economic, stance in this country we was when we were slaves. We the same now. Come out of Jim Crow, we still are. Yeah, we still down there.
You got to understand that I hate to use the word believe, but I'm going to use believe.
Go ahead. I understand since you put it like that.
I hate to use the word believe. I believe, I think, and I know that my people are even stronger than policy.
Right. I agree with that.
You got to understand.
But the majority, well, I ain't going to even, the third that you would be looking for, right? Half of that third, they still religious.
They could be religious. Guess what? I want you to be a black Muslim, a black Jew, a black Christian, but you better be black first.
Well, that's where that's where the half gonna fall off, because
what? That's why you always go for the third. Think about it.
Well, I'm saying half of that. Say I gather up this third, right? And this third gonna have to be, in order to be the third, just going off what you were saying, this third gonna be pretty tight. It's gonna be straight. They're gonna have their mind together, so to speak, right? They're gonna be the ones of awareness, like the 5%er, right? So half of that third gonna be religious, and the trouble is I'm just going off of my small wisdom here. Their goal is eternal life, despite what the goal of the third is. At the end of the day, that religious person's goal is going to be whatever their doctrine is at the end of the day. And if we start pushing in a direction that goes against their doctrine, we're going to have a come to Jesus moment. And I contend in saying that we have to kind of wash ourselves away of the original sin to us, bringing those churches onto those plantations and forcing those preachers to preach that bullshit. And it wasn't what they were saying. It was the whole pageantry of the white man sitting on the pew, forcing that preacher to preach what he wanted. And when he didn't, he put another one up there. And the power struggle, the same power struggle that the black woman saw when the cracker sodomized the black man when they brought him over here. So we got to go back to how our black man was broken down in front of the black woman's eyes from the beginning. Or we're going to always have a screwed up relationship with the black woman.
You know what's funny about that? And I'll be a little bit of an opponent on that. Even with all the buck breaking, even with all the racism, that black woman still had that black man's back. Because if she didn't, we wouldn't have black kids now, would we?
I can agree with you, but when you're talking about then, I can agree with you. But when you bring it into the now, who knows about that?
Even now, I don't care if you have the most swirling black woman on earth. She still think of that black man. You know what that's called? They have a word for that right now. That's called settling.
Settling.
That's called settling.
Settling. Yeah, I got you.
Even with black men,
well, I tend to. I've heard of the settling. Me personally, this just always been my thought process. If a black man put his suit on the right way, a black woman's not gonna be able to resist it. Right?
Guess what? The black man ain't had to. Guess what? A black man can walk a buck stark ass naked. A black woman ain't gonna resist. That's what I mean. If he's carrying his masculinity right, he got his suit on right, he got his cap on right, it's gonna always work out. You'll be taking black women from people if you wear it right. Right. But the wearing it right portion is I'm not saying it's impossible, because I have impossibilities. That's me. I love impossible. I love somebody to say something is impossible so I can figure out a way to make it possible. So that's the beautiful thing about black people. We are the impossible people because we make it happen.
So I'm thinking here, me just spitballing here, I don't think, just personally, I don't think it's going to be very easy until we can get our generations together to understand the forces combating against us. I think then we can understand better how to communicate and stop fucking with certain shit, because we already see it's already happening. I mean, what they fucking off Christopher Columbus because people are becoming more aware. I think we the most capable on this planet to kicking the white man in his mouth. Nobody else in this world is more capable of doing it. We just are in a slumber because we're trying to wake up from the hypnotization that we've been under, and we ain't but so many years outside even Jim Crow. Hell, my grandfather was a sharecropper. So I think because we the most critical of ourselves, we so busy looking in the general areas, we're not getting down to the micro level. And the micro level is where the problem is. We talking about the symptoms all the time, and we try to figure out chess moves to outdo the symptoms without recognizing the problem. And to me, that's not smart. That's not smart. You got to go to the root, and the root starts with how they treated us from day one. We got to back all that backwards and then realize, okay, now, so we great, and then do it our own fucking way. We can't even have a European perspective when we do this shit, because that's what's got us fucked up in the first fucking place. That's just my personal opinion, though.
I just feel as though that greatness cannot be stopped. You can only hope to contain it.
Okay.
So the more we worry about the white man, we should always know the traps and the pitfalls of white society. But this is what we should also be more concerned, is our greatness. Once again, I'll say it best. Black people piss greatness. So we can't help but to be great. So many times, black people, you're talking about what other race of people that taught themselves. One of the hardest shit you can ever do to yourself is to teach yourself how to read. Under threat of death. We invented 80% of the inventions we still live and appreciate and can't live without today. If the white man was that great, take the black inventions out of America, we still be at the steam engine. Oh yeah, by the way, give us that too, because we did that.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, but yep. I'm agreeing with you to a degree, because I mean, we so great, it's gonna bubble over. I mean, that was the whole purpose of the reason why the Europeans fought so hard to keep us in the position we was in, because they discovered our magical power. Okay, but I guess we haven't discovered. We don't know it. You walk up to somebody right now, you just pick someone tomorrow, black person, and talk to them for 5 minutes, find out anything good that they have had happen to them in the past 5-10 minutes, and you attribute it to them. Tell them, man, you a great person. All this shit that you telling right now, you tell them. Say, man, that's because you great. That's because you got the power, you got the juice. You know, you that dude, you that female. And they're going to look at you and tell you God did it. And until you can defeat that shit, bro, you pissing up a hill. You know, you've been in the military. You know what I'm talking about.
No, trust me. One thing you can't tell a soldier or an Aries to do, which I'm both, is something they can't do. And they will move heaven and earth to push it.
Well, I hope I inspire you, my black man.
Oh.
Cause Jesus a bad motherfucker, bro. Jesus a bad man. I hate his bitch ass, but he a bad motherfucker, man. And
the problem with it is I don't hate on any religion. You know why? Because all of the characters in every religion were black beforehand. See, you gotta go once again. I gotta go back to my historical study. Why do you think they had the black ring in the Olympic rings? Because from all colors, you start from black.
You get black. Black starts it all. All the colors together produce black.
When people think that we're not accomplishing shit, the only reason you got blacks in America, one, you need our genetics. Two, you need our genius.
I think they kept us because of the genius. You know, I mean, we saved them from every damn thing. We saved their damn space program. They finna blow all kinds of damn bread. If it wasn't for black folks, they wouldn't have no damn NASA. I mean, we have always kept this country. We was the engine for this country day one. We've always been the engine for this country. Yes, sir.
Not just the engine, oil, we're the coolant.
Charles, I have 3 new callers. Let me see who these are.
Is
this you, Mo? Hello?
Hey, it's Monica.
All right, stay right there.
Peace, sis. Peace.
Stay right there.
Hey, Mo, can you do me a favor?
Wait, who's this? I'm putting lines.
Wait, say it again? I'm sorry.
No, I opened another line. Who's this?
Big OC. What's happening?
All right, stay right there, Big OC. I'm going to open one more line.
Peace, OC.
What's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, hold on. Anonymous, I open your line. Who's this?
I am Maeve.
And could I speak? Maeve.
What
yes.
up, boy?
All right. All right, Mo.
Hey, Mo, can I get the loudest view from you?
Can I speak now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We took a break from cooking, and then you cook up a song right now for tomorrow. What's on your
mind? Mo, can I get a woo from you?
Woo-woo?
No, you got to say it with the text. Say it with the this week. Say it loud and proud.
Who that?
Whoa!
Y'all crazy. No, I can't. I think somebody said they wanted to hear about the awards tomorrow.
I want to hear about the awards.
Yeah, so I'm doing an award, a recognition of service award for HBCU graduates who serve in the community in some capacity, whether it's a policeman, fireman, firewoman, military, educator, counselor, coach, community worker, and I'm spotlighting one of our Mr. Jackson Wiggins, who back in 1897 contributed the first $57 to open up HBCU, which is Voorhees College. And so that came about by, I'm the president of my alumni chapter for my HBCU, and so I was looking and seeing how we go about doing things, and I noticed I've always noticed we have a lot of contributors in the community, such as what you're doing, Charles, with your initiative. And sometimes those rewards go undone, or sometimes a lot of people don't know that some of our community workers, our leaders, are accomplishing certain things in the background. And so I allowed a few of my friends to select an individual in each of those categories, and I did the honor of calling them and letting them know that they was nominated for an award. And it was interesting because each person I called, they was like, wow, who nominated me? They had no idea. This wasn't something that always gets done. And so it was interesting and it was unique. And so I went out and I sponsored the event and went out and bought these awesome awards for them and, trophies and plaques, all this great stuff that they're going to get on tomorrow just to show my appreciation. And so one of them is the first black male of Orangeburg, South Carolina, African-American, and one of them is the first female African-American. She was the first female African-American police officer in Clarendon County. Another one, Dr. Devanya Gomez, she's a early childhood developer. Another one, Dr. Henry, she works in something, I think somewhere elementary. Then Myron Taylor, he's a fireman. And we got Sergeant First Class George Williams. He's, of course, military. And we have Coach Baker. He was my actual coach. He coached for Savannah State University. And we have two community workers, Jonathan Kirkwood, who helps in leadership with the National Association of Black Accountants. And Jada Wayne Garnett, which is a youth counselor. And so, the awards are going to be tomorrow. I'm going to be live. So those of you who are friends with me on Facebook, you'll be able to watch it live. It's going to be short and sweet, not very long, maybe about 2 hours. And I'm just enjoying doing it, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm happy to hear that. So, Lee, add me as Charles L. Faulkner Jr. on Facebook. I want to see this.
Right. Yep. So everybody knows me. My name is Monica Lamb. So if you want to tune in, and you'll notice that, like I said, most of those individuals I do not know. I allow my friends to select them. We did radio announcements, so it's all over the airwaves. And we intended to have about 75 in audience, but I ended up with 108 or whatnot. I'm actually over capacity. Got folks still calling, but woo. So we're going to be standing room only or whatnot. I maxed out my venue.
So what part of the country are you from? And
Well, I'm originally from Louisiana, but when I retired Army, I stayed in the Carolinas. So this is going to be in Columbia, South Carolina, East Coast.
Man, that's most of my people.
I figure where Tyron's at.
Okay, who's next?
All right, who's next? Let's see. I'm gonna check the line. Whoever's that. Who's that? Your name, caller?
Nay.
All right, Nay. Go ahead, Nay.
Did the gentleman before me want to go first? Should I take my turn?
No, you can take a turn.
Oh, your guest that you have. Now, his information that he was giving out, that's his own opinion? Or that's his life he lives, or how it is? He got a wife?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
No.
Do you have a wife?
No.
Uh-oh.
You don't?
Nope.
Oh, so how did you form your opinion that you do about women?
Because I'm straight and I date nothing but women.
Do what?
I'm a straight black male and I date nothing but women.
I ain't asked you if you were crooked. I asked you how do you form your opinion about women? You see, Mama's boy said that you put on a suit and you look good. No, you got to have a brain in order for a real woman to look at you. Because if you're stupid and you don't know where you're going and you're stuck into yourself, she won't look at you.
I never had a problem with women looking at me, so that's the
I'm saying some men think that they must everything that our women supposed to fall down at their feet.
Looks aren't everything, but
they don't have a brain, and they don't. No, I didn't say looks. I said that they think that they're Mr. Everybody, and some women just turn their nose. And you're the same one to talk about Gabrielle Union and her having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think she couldn't? She had miscarriage, so maybe something was wrong that she couldn't carry a child. Some women can't.
Before your fight, Gabrielle Union did have twins. Excuse me, I'm sorry to be rude. Gabrielle Union years ago had twins. They must be in their early 20s by now. At one time, I'm done.
But I'm asking him.
If he had a baby, so hold up. I heard you, right?
Mm-hmm.
If she had issues and she needed a surrogate, when a woman needs a surrogate, what does that mean?
That she can't carry a baby. That's what it means. Her body is not strong enough to carry a child because she'll have a miscarriage. So she can find a surrogate to do it.
So didn't Chaos or myself say that?
She might have had ovarian cancer or something like that.
Didn't Chaos or myself that they say that there's some type of issue where she couldn't carry? We didn't go in detail of saying why she
made it seem like it was some moral issue. It could be a cancer. I think it could be a cancer.
The issue. Did we see or did we say? We stated that there was an issue where she needed a surrogate, right?
What was the issue? I didn't hear it.
She made a statement. She even wrote in her book. Stop. You asked me a question. I'm going to answer it. She wrote in her book about her lifestyle. I can only go by what she stated, correct?
You're correct. So
she made these statements. I'm only going by what she stated in her book about her lifestyle and the reasons why she had a surrogant, correct?
So what did she say in her book?
So in other words,
I
can't explain if you get to keep talking, man. So she stated about her free lifestyle of having sex with multiple people in Hollywood. In her book, her words.
You're so funny.
I'm so accurate too. This is her words, not mine, not Chaos's, not Gigi's, not Mother's Boys. This is her words. This is her official book that wouldn't have made air if it wasn't for her permission, correct?
I don't know.
No, correct.
Where is this book? So I'm saying what Gabrielle said, not a book. I'm saying what she said. She
had issues where she couldn't carry.
But your point is, what does that got to do with sleeping with a lot of men? What does that got to do with not having been able to have sex?
But in other words,
oh my fucking God.
But other words,
oh, Gary, let me talk to this guy. I haven't heard him for about 2 hours.
Her body was not able to carry, because I could tell you verbatim when Chaos and myself said a lot of women out there, not all, but too damn many, think that they can waste their good years or their most fertile years of having children and think they can come back in their 40s to have them. That's hard. I don't care what woman. That's hard. Even women who have children in their 40s will tell you that's some of the hardest shit that you could do. Even to this day, of all the medical advancements we make, one of the most dangerous things women can do is give birth. And it's even harder when they are older. That's my opinion. That's not my opinion. That's scientific fact.
How old do you have to be to have a baby? Because at some point you can't have kids anymore anyway, at a certain age.
Didn't I just say that?
I mean, your eggs you don't have anymore. So I don't understand what you're saying.
In other words, the older you get, the harder it gets until you can do it. You can't do it anymore.
I think this lady the other day just had a baby. She was 60 years old.
Contrary to men who can sire kids till they die.
And I guess men can produce children all their life. They don't have a problem when they get to be a certain age.
So in other words,
they can't produce. Some men can't produce. That's why some women can't get pregnant, right?
It's a prime time of life for women to give birth to children, correct?
I asked you a question. Is it a point so some men cannot produce kids and women can't get pregnant?
It's rare.
You seem like you put everything on the woman. Garrett, let me finish talking to him, please.
In other words, is it going to behoove a woman to give birth in her prime years of her late teens and mid to late 20s compared to her 40s?
Hello?
Yeah, her late teens.
In her late teens and in her 40s.
You don't hear too much about women in their 40s giving birth, do you? Or their 50s, do you?
Yes, women in their 40s do give birth. Janet Jackson was 50. She gave birth to hers. Excuse me?
Is that the majority or is that the few?
I don't know because I haven't done a study. Have you?
That's the few. Yes, that's the few.
So let's get back to the point where you were discussing women. You say you slept with a lot of
We're not going to bogart this.
No. I'm not bogarting. I'm asking you a question, and I'm trying to hurry up. Last question for you: when a man sleeps with a lot of women and he loses all of his whatever he can do to produce children, that's why men can't produce kids? Because they don't screw with a lot of women and mess them up in their younger years?
Number one, we want to go to a biological. I'm
asking you about men because I don't know nothing about men. I know about women.
A man's body is much different than a woman's body.
You know that, Maze.
What you say?
In other words, a man's body is built for burden. A man has thicker bones and greater muscle density. Not what I say, it's what science says.
Oh, science says. So you know a man's body and you know about a woman's body.
So let me ask you something.
What?
Can you bench press almost 500 pounds?
I didn't understand you. What did you say?
No, I made a direct statement. Can you almost bench press 500 pounds?
Can I I know somebody that can, a young lady, yes. I wouldn't bench press 500 pounds, so why would they have to do with it? She bench pressed 400 pounds. Yes, she did. So what they got to do with anything?
No, that's not the record. The world record is about
she holds the record.
The mid-threes is for the record for women.
Okay? So what does that got to do with what I'm asking you?
A male's body is a female's body. Okay? We don't have eggs. We have sperm.
I know you have sperm. I mean, you use too much of it and they're not to use anymore. Can you produce any children? Is what I asked you.
We can use our sperm till the day we die.
Yeah, really? And then when you have men don't have problems, right?
We're not judging.
Men don't have problems.
Guess what?
What age do men start having problems with their bodies?
You produce, is that the norm or is that the seldom?
I didn't hear what you said.
Yes, you did. Is that
no,
the
I didn't.
for every man?
You think that you can produce and you can keep going there and screwing every dick and Harry you want to, just like you talk about Gabrielle, and you can't produce no children. Every man cannot produce a child.
That's how the human
His son will not make a baby. So sometimes there's something wrong with the man, isn't it? Asking you the question. Sometimes there's something wrong with the man that they can't produce children, right? And it's not the woman's fault.
And then within 50 years, you sent 15 black men to a white country, and then 50 years.
We're not talking about a white country. We're talking about this country.
And even still, the only reason you don't have a major brown populace and in 100 years black populace is because they had laws invoked that you couldn't deal with you couldn't deal with other races of women. But
Since when?
Red Scott.
All right, man. Sorry, man. Don't play stupid, man.
I'm curious. I'm not asking questions. I'm just gonna sit here and listen to something I want to know an answer to. So you can't give an answer. Be quiet, Gary, and let me talk to this man.
So in other words, you try to judge us on the same status as women when we're built differently.
No, I didn't put you in the same status as women because I know the difference between a man and a woman.
I'm gonna ask you the questions now. When does a woman's body stop growing and stop maturing?
When does a woman's body stop growing and stop maturing?
Yes. When does a average woman stop?
Well, the way it depends on when you look at it. Some start at 13, and some start at 12.
When a woman stops growing around 2021, and the male body stops at around 26, 27, that already tells you there's a physical difference.
That has nothing to do with a man and a woman producing a child.
Because guess what?
Because if a girl cannot have to go through a stage before she can have a baby. She can screw as much as she wants to until she have her money, and she can't have no baby until she do that. So what are you talking about? And so some 13 or some even older. So that's, excuse me, let's get it right. You don't know nothing about a woman. You think you do.
To the eyes of men, if she screws every other man.
No, and I'm asking you what happens when a man screws every other woman. What happens to his body?
But you don't want to answer.
Let him answer my question. You won't answer my question. I'm a woman. I know about my body. I'm asking you about your body, and you screwing up a whole lot of women. What do you have to offer?
If you went to screw 100 men, would those 100 men value you?
I wouldn't screw 100 men. I have too much pride in my body to even look that way. But if you went through the 100 women, and your sperm count will go down, and you won't have no count because you can't make no kids.
So in other words,
so you lose that count too. Just like a woman, you use your count too.
No, we don't.
So don't you say yes, you do? I think you better look it up. You need to look it up. That is the truth. You need to look it up. You don't know about your body.
Charles, are you thinking about proposing?
No, he's not thinking about proposing.
She's so perfect.
No,
he's not. He's not thinking about proposing. No, he's not. Cause I'm not.
Never heard the saying of moving the goalposts.
No, you can move the goalposts. Listen to you.
Move the football game to another
game. You don't know what you're talking about. It's just like playing football, and you're not making a touchdown.
Matter of fact,
don't get upset. They calm. Don't get upset.
Because
don't get upset.
I'm going to ask you a question. You can try to overtalk me. It doesn't make you right. You're still wrong.
And what are you saying to make you right? Because you haven't answered my question.
Says I'm right.
Charles, hold on 1 second. Guys, Charles, hold on. Let me open this line 1 second. I'm going to let you continue. 1 second. Who's this? Sorry. Hello?
Yeah. You muted me.
Oh, yeah, I unmuted. Oh, it's you. Oh, okay. It's you, Mary.
Yeah, don't get nervous. Don't get nervous.
No, wait. I may want to say something. Charles, before you
don't get nervous.
Yeah, Mary,
I'm never nervous. I just know you're wrong.
May.
Don't get emotional.
Mary want to say something.
No, he's emotional. I'm not. I'm calm. I stay calm. You get emotional because I say you can lose your sperm count, and you do.
I understand.
Because everybody don't have to sit back and listen to you. I'm not a follower.
It's not my fault. It's nature.
Hey, Gary, let me get a question in.
Guys, chill. It's not too late after hour yet. Relax. Hold on. Amir, open your line. What's up?
Nothing. I mean, I'm just sitting there listening to the conversation, and I think this is, where a lot of the, the friction comes in at, because, like as men, we want to make this argument for a double standard when it comes to the sexual politics, and I agree with it within the construct of our society and the way that we have conceptualized relationships, the male-female dynamic, and I even get the aspect of the biology of it. But the fact is that very early on in human development, we didn't have these things. We didn't have these things in place. Like even I'm talking about before we even had familiar ties, before we even understood what brother was, what sister was, what mother was, what father father was. You see what I'm saying? So, I always laugh because I'm like, really it's irrelevant because just early on in our human development, we didn't operate that way. We just got it on. You know what I'm saying? Nature just took its course. So I'm just sitting here laughing at it and see what it is. The women think they're giving something up.
And what do you think you're doing? And what do you think you're giving? Y'all think y'all slick. Y'all just like them little rascals that came over here, don't know nothing.
The fact is, women can't do it. Women can't do what men do. You just can't. Like it's not,
Hello.
Can I get a statement in real quick? I just want to get a statement in real quick, and I just want to give my quick thoughts on what goes on a lot of times. We start from a place of black folks needing to come together, and get on a certain accord, or a particular amount of us heading towards the same goal. But then it always, or I don't know if we forget that if you're going to have married men that are joining the fold with you, or men that care about their wives and their sisters and their daughters, then that aspect can't always be what a man can do and what a woman can do, because what I understand, if black folks gonna get anywhere, it ain't gonna be done only by men. And what I understand is when I leave my house in the morning, my belly's full for a particular reason, because I had a woman there to set me up nicely to go out and have enough energy and nourishment to do what I need to do. So I think we speak always in large terms. But we got to understand there's a day-to-day to our lives, and I couldn't get my day-to-day done the way I'm set up now without my wife. So I just sometimes don't understand how we always get to that point where we're always arguing with our women and arguing with them about what, like they're not going to assist in what we're doing? Are we just going to do it without them? That's just my quick assessment.
Okay.
That's what he want to do.
This is the point that I'm making.
We might have to do it without him.
I've been on here.
That's why you have about it.
There, bro.
I'll make my big statement towards this. I've been on here for 2 hours with Gigi.
You should have been on here for 2 hours, and I heard you.
Have I argued with Gigi once?
Nope.
Well, we argued in the past. A couple of times.
What I got to do with it?
But
you just want
tonight.
Once we settled all our issues, then we argued. See,
am I still on?
The thing about it is this.
You and yourself.
Argue. The point of the mixture is that, like I said earlier, there's a difference in the physical standpoint of
everything.
Did I make one greater than the other this whole time?
Kinda.
I didn't even make it one time. Did I chastise the sin as much as the women? Did I say that you have a lot of incels who are afraid to talk to women face to face? Did I say that there is no me without you and there's no you without me?
That's a good song.
So if you can pay the plate to everything I said, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a time limit for the man, but specifically OC? It's probably a stupid question. OC, Mama's Boy, and the guest, Charles. Like if you have a daughter and she's dating a guy and she's like in her early 20s, do you ever say after 1 year you should be talking about marriage, or after 2 years you should be talking about marriage? Is there a time, or is there? I think I know what Mama's Boy is going to say, but I just want.
Okay, hold on, guys. Before anybody answers, I'm gonna open these last two lines. Who's this?
Yeah, I got a quick question for the guest.
No, Joe. sit back, because there's a question that has to be asked that G asked. So I'm going to open one more line. Then, you can ask your question. I open a new line. Who's this?
Jay, I just came back.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, hold on. All right, so the question was asked Gigi, is there a timetable for a young lady that's been dating a young fella for, a year now? Gigi?
A year or 2 or 3, like.
All right, so you want to know what is the conventional time for that person that's dating this person for him to get on his knees and give the ring to that woman?
Well, I'll say there's no definite set in time, because I'll even tell you, you could date a person for a year, hell, even 2 years, and you're still finding stuff about each other. I will always go around the 3 to 5 mark, because at that time you should know what you know about that person, and they should know what they want about you, that if they want to be with you or not be with you. I'm a believer of you shouldn't waste a woman's time, and a woman shouldn't waste a man's time. There should be a decision made. If you don't find that man to be husband material or that woman to be wife material, you should gracefully both bow out respectfully. But the problem with how things are now in the modern society, we don't train our boys to be husbands and our girls to be wives. See, there's a big difference. There's the older folks, their parents, they were trained to be husbands and wives. It's not. It's like
that sounds good. I don't believe that though. That sounds good that you're saying that though, but you got to prove that to me.
What you mean?
Even then, you got to be vetted. So if you're spending it within 6 months, see, we have more of a sex first culture instead of being a vetted culture.
Exactly.
How long have we had that sex first culture, sir?
Even then, guess what?
How long? How long have we been in that culture?
I would say we've had a sex first culture for about 30 or 40 years.
Yeah,
at least I would say 35.
Why not 60 or 70?
You got to remember
that just doesn't line up with the time period.
Why doesn't it? My granddaddy had 3 families.
Because it doesn't.
No, it does, Mary. It does, Mary, because if you look back in certain I think the problem with your argument, Mary, is that you're looking at it.
How old is Papa was a Rolling Stone? How old is that?
Exactly.
But that wasn't. Hold on. That wasn't the cultural standard. See, what you're doing is you're taking an instance of. No, it was not. You're taking an instance of some men. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Come on, Mary.
You're taking. Hold on. You're taking instances of men who operated that way and saying this is the standard for how men operated. No, it wasn't. That was not something that was socially acceptable like that. That was not socially acceptable like it is today. Today we have a hookup culture. I remember. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish because I'm about to kill y'all stupid ass argument right now. I remember coming up. I remember coming up. It was Mitchell and Miranda sitting in the tree. KISSING. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage. So this whole hookup first culture is something new. This is new.
That sounds like bullshit.
Stop because your daddy got 42 kids or your granddaddy. My daddy ain't had that. So what you're doing is saying my granddaddy did this, so all men was doing it. No, get out of here. That's not the way that was. It was a totally different standard. It was a totally different standard 30 or 40 years ago. Hookup culture is new. I'm 38 years old. I'm 38 years old, and I've been married 19 years. So this whole hookup culture is new.
I just got a question.
Now,
man.
if you want to talk about adultery, that's something different.
I'm not here to debate you, brother. I just wanted to know if you Tommy Davis. Why
was I muted? Why was I muted? But anyway, Amiri, you are looking. See, here is the problem with your argument, Amiri. Is that you're trying to make a micro argument against a macro issue. The issue is macro, not micro. So yeah, if you go back in time, there was a lot of people who had multiple families across counties.
Yeah, but But again, that wasn't the cultural standard. That was not the cultural standard. The cultural standard was you get married, you settle down, and you build a family.
Hold on, real quick, Big J. What's your name, brother? You Amiri?
My name is Amiri.
Okay, Amiri. It's really easy to kind of chip your argument into the cheap seats. It really is.
Okay, well, do it.
Okay, well, why was welfare instituted in this country?
Welfare was instituted in this country because of the Great Depression. That's why it was instituted. Hold on. You asked the question. You asked the question. Welfare was instituted as a part of the New Deal because of the Great Depression. That's why it was instituted.
I disagree with you.
You can disagree, but that's just history, bro.
No, I think you got it. I think you're reading Big J, if you please, sir. I think you're reading history wrong because
I'm reading it wrong, right?
Yeah, welfare. Hold on, Mary.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll let you speak, man. Can I throw my shit on the slab?
Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate you. Welfare was instituted because cracker men was walking out on their damn families.
Because of the Great Depression, that was called poor man's desertion. Poor man's desertion, brother. So it was because of the Great Depression.
But you acted. Hold on. But you saying it wasn't the cultural standard.
It wasn't. Obviously, the cultural standard was not to be hooking up.
Wait a minute. There's an argument to be had, brother. Would you back the fuck up? There's an argument to be had. There's an argument to be had there. If the government felt like it was a standard to back motherfuckers up with welfare, somebody's culture, it was the standard. And if before you start speaking, Amir, it has always been a tradition in this country, all the way back to slavery, for the slave to act like the slave master. It's always been a tradition in this country. So if white men was walking out on their families, at some point in time down the road, black men gonna start walking out on their families.
Okay, all right. Let me respond to that. The reason why, and you just torpedoed your own argument. When these white men were hold on, I'm about to tell you how. When these white, I'm about to tell you how. When the reason why they instituted welfare was to stop men from walking out on their families. The bottom line is, it don't matter who. The bottom line is during that time period, it was not the cultural standard for people to just be hooking up. You got married first, and if you happen to have premarital sex with a woman, they made you marry her. That's where we get shotgun weddings from. This whole thing where we just sitting out here having sex, you sitting here, you sucking and slurping on this next person, and you don't even have a definition for the relationship. This is new. All this is new.
No,
so
it's
just
not
cut the
new.
bullshit.
No,
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Hold on.
Yes, it is. Y'all sound stupid saying it's not.
Can I say something?
I actually have a book. You can't, Big J. I'm gonna say this real quick. I actually have a book on European history in the medieval times, where they would just snatch a woman up off the street and go fuck her in the alley and keep on moving. And it was actually tradition for crackers to go to the border.
This is not.
Hold on, bruh.
We in America,
Hold on, bruh. Well, guess what?
Your goddamn
Europe, man. The Magna Carta didn't come from motherfucking America, did it?
But the Constitution did, though. The Constitution did. The Constitution did.
And the Constitution is based off the Magna Carta, which is European.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're making shit up. No, it's not. Okay, let me ask you this. What was the Magna Carta for?
The Magna Carta was a part of. Go ahead, BJ. Go ahead, BJ.
What was the Magna Carta for? What was the Magna Carta for?
Providing
No, I'm saying, what was the Magna Carta for? I'm asking you a question. What was the Magna Carta for? The Magna Carta was for the 13 colonies, right?
What was it drawn up in the United States, or was it drawn up in Europe?
What I'm saying is the Magna Carta.
No, you trying to pigeonhole me because you don't want to address the
because you don't want to. You don't want to address that the 13 colonies are a different entity from the United States of America.
I ain't say shit.
That's a different institution.
Mr. Amiri.
Go ahead. You killed John Hodgman. Go ahead.
Listen, brother, if you keep trying to overtalk me, how in the hell can I answer you?
All right, well, answer the question.
Right,
what was the Magna Carta
for? Just for decorum, if you ask me a question, please be quiet long enough for me to answer you.
Okay, what was the Magna Carta for?
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Now, don't ask a loaded question, brother. Get down to the root of it. All right? So the root of it, hold on, brother. The root of it is the 13 colonies that were formed over here were still connected to Europe. Right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to say it. They were still connected to Europe. They had to borrow the money from the British to fucking break away from the goddamn British.
I understand that, brother. I understand. Okay, hold on. Let me respond to that, though. Let me respond. Because you want to keep going.
Go ahead. You don't have to respond to everything I say. You can let me finish speaking, brother. Your arguing technique is null here. Just listen for a second, brother. You got to speak. Try the same thing. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So if those 13 colonies were connected, attached, came from Europe, when they got to this continent, they were still fucking Europe on this continent. So the Magna Carta is European. And they based the Constitution for the United States.
Well, but you're missing something. No, so you're missing something. No, hold on. See, you don't want to let me speak. Be quiet. Let me speak.
You trying to argue? You didn't let me finish.
See what you're doing? Hold on, brother. Hold on. What you're doing is you want to totally neglect the War of Independence that the 13 colonies fought before they got to the Constitution. See, there was a War of Independence that made them separate and apart and independent from Europe. This is just a fact. And once they went through that Revolutionary War and they became their own independent entity, then they came up with the Constitution of the United States of America.
Based on what?
You referencing Europe is irrelevant. It's totally irrelevant. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me finish. Don't cut me off. Let me finish. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me make my last point.
No. Can I have a word, please? Can I have a word?
Let me make my last point. All right, go ahead.
Hold on. I'm going. Why was I invited to call in only to be muted by
Big J. Let's talk, man.
Put back on hold.
Hold on.
It's your choice.
I didn't know. I know I'm married. But who's the other guy?
No, hold on. If we're gonna talk about the Magna Carta, first of all, though, hey, don't do that. No,
when was it started?
The Magna Carta is in the United States Constitution because of the Fifth Amendment, the Section Article 1, Section 9 urban corpus and all of that. So the Ninth Amendment is actually written word for word from the Magna Carta.
Okay, well, show me in the Constitution where that was the cultural standard.
Okay. When was the Magna Carta started? When was it written?
1215.
So 1215. When was the Constitution written?
1789. 1788. Yes, but the Magna Carta is in the Constitution. If you actually sit there and look at look at some of the phrases. All what they did though, they cut and paste.
By the way,
what they did, they cut and paste.
Hold up. I listened to y'all for 10 straight minutes. Number one, when they started welfare in the 30s, welfare didn't split up families in the 30s. It was only till the late 70s and early 80s they started to split up families.
But see, that's when black folks start getting on welfare. How can you even have a word in?
Let me finish. As a matter of fact, until 1973, the kids usually went to the father and not the mother. Okay?
You talking about white folks?
Well, no, that was all people. So you got to understand this. Number one, welfare was only the replacement to the shotgun marriage because they were liberating women. Okay? When people forget this notion, when the birth control pill came out, the liberation, second wave feminism, when they start giving women education and jobs, because men didn't leave their family. Okay? The only reason they started welfare is because they made fucking bad choices with the government and the fucking shit taxed.
Man, we did it. They did our news. We do a news show. We do a news show on T.R.S. every Thursday. And I've been listening to T.R.S. for a couple of years now, at least 3, right? And I distinctly remember the news show where the sisters and Tyrone laid it out exactly that when they started the welfare. The only reason why they started separating families, and that was in the 70s, because black folks started getting on welfare because white folks was on welfare in the beginning. In the start of it, it's because white men were walking out on their families. I distinctly remember
that was poor man's desertion.
But you're not refuting what the fuck I said, bro. You just recapture. You just putting another name on it.
I'm not trying to refute it. Did I ever say you was wrong in saying that? I'm just telling you what it's called. It's called poor man's desertion.
All I was saying in the beginning, hold on, brothers, because I don't want to misunderstand it.
And the third,
I don't want us to be arguing for nothing, right? I don't want us to be arguing for nothing. Someone made a statement about black folks being on welfare, and the shit started, I guess, in the 70s where men started leaving their families or whatever the fuck. And I was saying, well, wait a minute. Men were walking out on families long before the 70s.
Okay. Let's keep this.
All you got to do is go back to the original reason why they started this shit.
Let's keep this a buck, right?
I don't know what that got to do with the hookup culture.
Hold on, that's exactly. God damn, man. I wasn't arguing with anybody. I wasn't arguing with anybody in the beginning, in the first place. I wasn't trying to disprove anybody in the beginning. I just heard someone saying something, and I just thought I would put my 2 cents in.
People get a lot of half-truths. There was not an influx of men leaving their families. There was a larger influx of people having kids out of wedlock.
Oh, let's so they was just fucking.
Let's get that.
So you disagree with Amiri then? So back then they was just fucking there.
And women always work. Black women always had a job.
Hold up, you're talking in circles, man.
Number one, that was the growth of when people were starting to be accepting kids out of wedlock.
The hookup culture.
First and foremost, historically, from 1890 to 1980, black people were more married than white. It wasn't until the fucking early 80s you start seeing an influx of black families having babies out of wedlock.
And that's in the 70s, right?
Black people actually never even got divorced because of 2 reasons. One, they just didn't like each other and they up and left. And 2, they couldn't afford the goddamn divorce.
Yep.
That's right, and that's precisely why the marriage rates are misleading because of that. Because they would separate but remain married and just go on to live separate lives. So the marriage rates aren't really reflective. They would go on.
Nigga, you refuted when I said that earlier. You said that wasn't the
No, listen at what I said. See, listen. No, listen at what I said. I said that wasn't the cultural standard. I never said it didn't happen. I said that wasn't the cultural standard. Now today we have Now today the cultural standard is to just have kids and don't have a relationship and don't have a marriage. That's the cultural standard now. Listen to the language that I'm using instead of just being reactionary, thinking I'm disagreeing with you. Back then that was not the cultural standard, but it happened. That's what I was saying. So I never said you was wrong. I just said that wasn't the cultural standard.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Charles Faulkner, can you give your closing remarks? Because I'm going to end tonight's session.
Number one, I don't know who Maze is, but she was taking some drugs. The only thing she was doing is loud talking. Number one, I'm going to just make a quick, not so quick statement. Number one, women are valued on their youthfulness because they can't have babies later on in life. Men can. Number two, when you look at the cultural norms, it was not normal until the almost into the 90s. Because you had the large crack generation shit going on to have babies out of wedlock.
Right.
Black men never really left because black men either did 2 things. They would leave 29 days before the 30th day when the motherfucker came to check for the motherfuckers to see if they were living there in the house for welfare. White men were never forced to leave. The reason why they instill welfare is not to keep the man there. It's for the fucking children not to starve.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go through historical facts, they instill welfare because if they didn't fucking have welfare, it was for them not to starve. Even to this day, in 2019, you have more white women on welfare than there are black people in America.
Bingo.
So if you're going to tell the truth, the whole goddamn truth. Even to this day, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go by these hearsay truths instead of actually doing some goddamn research and going to go through the goddamn book. Because the government says, how fucking far can you have a strong country if your people die of starvation? You don't have a goddamn country. So of course, when you fuck up the money for people, you gotta support them. The only difference between the 30s and the goddamn 80s is that they made it for the black man to lead. Because you put a black man, because the majority of black men were skilled tradesmen, but you outsourced the fucking shit in the 80s. And the early 80s and late 70s. So if we're going to tell the truth about some shit, we're going to tell the complete truth. A lot of men willfully left the fucking shit so their children could fucking eat. And they would still be in that child's life. For a lot of these motherfuckers who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s, who were parents of children born in the 80s, should actually ask their parents what the fuck went on instead of speculating.
Hey, my brother.
All right. So this I'm gonna do, because Tyron is bothering me right now. I'm gonna end it on this note. Thanks for everybody for calling in for tonight's show. Thank you again, Officer Charles Faulkner Jr. for coming back. We gotta do this again. We have so many other topics we gotta go for, brother. I'm just writing the list as we go along. You feel me? And thank you, Mama's Boy. Good to hear from you on my show.
Yeah, peace.
DJ, JNYC, GG, and the great liberator, I'm Mary Brown. And listen, man, we're gonna be doing a show too. Be on the lookout for that. I mean, I know you went in. And,
thank Tommy Davidson too, man. You tricked us, Gary. How you didn't tell us that y'all had Tommy Davidson?
I'm smart. I bet you I'm smarter than you though.
No, brother.
Bet
no,
you that.
Listen.
Bet you I'm smarter than you. I'm first. You're right. I'm funnier. I'm funnier and I'm smarter and more handsome and make more money. Now what?
All right. And on that good note, thank y'all for listening. Good night now. Take care.
Peace.
Comment, subscribe, and like the video. And check out all previous videos on Chaos Ray channel. And find me on Twitter on Chaos Reign 7 for questions and comments of any ideas of upcoming shows. Thank you for listening. And like always, let the chaos reign.